Why aren't you listening to me? Doesn't anybody ever listen to me? Listen to me? Listen to me? Listen to me? Blame yourselves for this fucking word salad that I just spit all over the goddamn plate. This is all your fault. You and I like me. That's it. I work under the cover of darkness because I don't need the rest of society to look in my eyes and know that is a bad person.
Hey, what's happening, Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast. Hey, guess what, folks? We found my death podcast. Lily and I are sitting here talking, and I'm like, all right, well, here's a story that, honestly, I can't tell until everybody's dead. And I kind of told her a little bit about it, and not all of it. I mean, it's because it's this long, it's the story of like 4 days. It's a 4-day thing. And so I told her, and she goes, when are you going to tell that? Why wouldn't you tell that? I go, I can't tell that till everybody's dead. Seriously, until all of the particulars and everybody surrounding that in that story are finished and gone. I go, you know what? I know the story now that I'm going to tell on my deathbed. Honestly, that is the story that I'm going to choke out on my podcast deathbed. And I can't imagine. I'm trying to figure out, does that mean that I'm going to be doing this until the day I die? Or I'm going to schedule the day I'm going to die, and then I'll just do this show on that day. I mean, I haven't figured out the particulars of it. That's all I'll tell you. The only thing I can tell you for certain, folks, the only thing that we have definitely hip pocketed in our back pocket. Why would it be in our back pocket if it's in our hip pocket? I don't know why. I'm keeping this story in a lot of pockets, folks. This is, oh my God, you know what? This is so much fucking story. I got to put it in many pockets. So many pockets. Front, back. I'm going to wear a shirt with pockets and tuck it right there in my front shirt pocket. I'm going to have a pocket protector. You know what? That's how much I think of this story. I have to get a pocket protector to surround this story with because I don't want this story leaking and leaving a big fucking blue dot on my nice shirt. God damn it. And this is the story that would do it. Believe me, this is the 4-day story that would fucking leave a huge blue dot on my shirt and everybody go, yep. And I'd be buried in that fucking shirt. That's right. Hi, how are you? I'm good. I'm really good now because I'm always up in the air because I'm like, oh, I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what I have. But now I know for sure I've got one story for the day that I die, for the day everybody passes away. I may even record it at the final person's wake. Why don't I do that? Because again, as I've told you folks, I'm never more funny than I am at a goddamn wake. So let's say the last person involved in this story, because I'm going to say there's about 6 particulars in this story that would care. 3. No, there's about 8. There's about 8 people. So it's this story is way off in the distance. And that includes me, though, I guess. So it includes me. So honestly, on the last day, the last person involved, when they die, I'm going to record this story at their wake. I can think of no more fitting tribute than to tell the story they would have never wanted to hear when they were alive. I want to shuffle them into the afterlife. I want to sweep them into the afterlife with a broom that they would hate. A story-filled broom. Holy shit. Folks, yeah, all right. So I'm glad I got that knocked out. That's a burden off me. I'm not going to lie to you. I spent a lot of time wondering what the last story I'll ever tell on the show is, and now I've got it done, squared away. There's 3 stories, really, that I will never tell on this show, that I know for sure that I will never tell. One of them's in the live show. So, hey, if you guys want to come out to the live show, you'll see one of them. And another one is a story I've saved. You know what's funny? This new story has taken the place of the other story as the final story I will tell. Because when I sat down, I was trying to figure out what stories to tell on this podcast, when I first ever sat down and I'm like, what the fuck could I ever talk about? And I started writing down, when I was a racist in Peoria, and I'm like writing all these different things, and I'm like, oh shit, that happened. And then the best part of it is sometimes you'll think of things, you go, oh fuck, I completely forgot about that. That's awesome. And then I'll go, well, maybe I'll get to that at some point. And then I hope to talk myself into a goddamn corner to the point where I can scratch out with that goddamn story. So I always had this one particular story that was on the first list. And it's funny, the story that I tell on the live show and this other story were on the first list. They were in the first draft of stories to tell, and I've avoided them for 4 goddamn years. Because you know why? And I'll tell you this, because in that very hip pocket that I'm keeping that new story, there's always been another story tucked in there, this story I've mentioned that I can't tell, that was going to be in the final show before. And I've always said, if I tell that story, I'm out. I got nothing for you folks. By the way, how horrible is this show? Literally, what is this? This is like 5 minutes of me telling you things that I can't tell you, and you don't care. You're at home going, tell us, you know what? Just tell us a fucking story. It doesn't have to be one of these other ones. It doesn't have to be an old one, a new one, whatever the fuck, dude. Just get to a story, please. We don't want to hear a story about the stories you can't tell. Tell us a story that you can tell, motherfucker. You're a storyteller in a storytelling podcast, and the only story you're telling now is a story about stories you don't want to tell. What the fuck? We don't tune in to hear what you won't tell us, you dick. Why are you doing that? It's like you people are cats, all right? You guys are you're like two cats, and I've just got a thing on a string. I'm like yoink, yoink. I keep pulling. You're jumping. You're trying to catch it and like spinning your little paws in the air, your little cat paws. And I'm like, no, fuck that. You're not getting your hands on it. It's not your hands, your paws. I just said paws 9 times. Why the fuck would I go to hands? That's right, folks. I got a fishing pole. I'm just trolling. I just fucking zzz, I'm casting for you, and your fish. You're trying to bite. You're like, we like the bait of those stories, but then you bite it and you realize, haha, it's false. It's like, remember, that's what fish feel like when they see a worm and then they bite it and it turns out to be like a hunk of rubber out of some guy's fucking toolbox from a garage, and they're fucking pissed off they got caught. They're like, look, if I'm going to get hooked, at least it's going to hook me on some real fucking worm, all right? Make it a challenge. Make it worth my goddamn while. So, like, I'm trying to hook you with, like, a story about non-stories. That's not good. It's like I'm casting out rubber lures. You guys want real worms. You people, you know what? You're fucking fish who deserve real fucking worms. And all I've done to this point is give you fucking fake worms. I apologize. That's what this whole show has been so far. A huge casting of fake worms. And you guys coming up and bobbing your mouth and trying to grab it and get hooked and get pulled into the goddamn boat. Then you look up at me with those eyes like, really, dude? You had to use a fake worm to get me up here? I'm already on board. At least reward me with a real fucking worm. But the good news is, folks, that when everybody's dead, you'll hear that other story. Thank God. Hi. I'm Mike. It's what is it? 5? It's late. It's not late, but it's Wednesday. I recorded last week on Tuesday, and then I was in a hustle to get out of town. And you'd think that I had that extra day, and I'd be like, this would be easy. But for some reason, I came here and I just felt it was daunting. Like I felt like. Not recording. I mean, I want to record, of course. Certainly, I want to tell you folks all there is to tell you about stories that you'll never hear. I don't know. I'm a little out of sorts. Here's what I found out about myself today, folks. Let me drop this in your lap. Let me tell you this. Let me put this right into one of your ears and let it bounce around your brain and hop out of your other ear, but then get blocked by your earbud and stay inside your head. I found out that I have made children happy. That's what I was told today. I was told, hey, we made some kids happy. And I was like, it was my wife told me, she said, hey, guess what? We made some children very happy today. And I usually, look, I'm on board with making kids happy. I enjoy children. I don't want any of my own, quite frankly. And I think that's for the betterment of society. Nobody wants me to have a kid. Do you really want me to raise a kid who's going to learn how to, fucking throw waffles? Nobody wants that. Throwing waffles at neighbors? Although, fuck, dude, listen, if you think that was incorrect, make some waffles and go throw them in your yard because it's fucking amazing. There is nothing more fun than throwing waffles at people, particularly people who don't know it's coming. Holy shit, if someone knows you're going to throw a waffle at them, it takes a little of the sting out of it. Fuck that. You want maximum waffle sting. That's what you fucking want. Sneak up on a motherfucker who's out there checking his mail and just whip an Eggo right into his goddamn face. And now, you know what? Not close. Sail it from across the street so he sees it coming and he just sees like a fucking breakfast death flying right at his goddamn head. And there's nothing he can do. He's like, holy shit, what is it, the Breakfast Olympics? Is that a discus? Wham! Before he even knows he's got a fucking Eggo in his mouth. And he can't let go of it because it's jammed into his fucking uvula. God damn, I love throwing waffles. Haven't done it in a while. I'm probably a little rusty. What if I didn't? What if I wasn't rusty and I was fucking great at it, and I did? I practiced it every week. What if that's why I was broke? Because I kept buying fucking mountains of Eggo waffles and I practiced throwing them like fucking bullseye. God damn it. There is no higher calling than Breakfast Ninja. Oh, you know why? Because regular ninjas work under the cover of night. They're dressed in black. They wear those stupid shoes. And you never see them coming. Breakfast Ninja, fuck. He might as well wear white. He's working in the daytime. It's breakfast. All right. So I make children happy, folks. I found that out. First of all, I'll say this is a little scary. A guy wrote me, and he's like, he was a nice guy, and he bought a T-shirt. He wound up buying a T-shirt. But he's a nice man who has contributed to the show in the past. I don't want to say his name in case there's trouble. But he mentioned in his email, he was riding in his car with his son. They were on a road trip listening to an episode of this show. And then at the end, he said, I mentioned that he had donated. I said his name on the air, which is nice. and he said that his son looked at him and went, "That was you, right?" And he said that he looked at his son and he put his tongue out like Gene Simmons and he held up like a rock and roll hand, like the devil horns, like, ah. And his son went, "Of course, that was you." And again, I read all that despite the fact that I wanted to freeze in my tracks when I heard that he was sharing my show with his son. I assume because his kid was able to say that and stuff, he's older and he can handle the content of this show. But I'd hate to think there was some 7-year-old who was being forced to listen to me on cross-country trips. Holy shit. That's got to be awful. I'm some generation's Paul Harvey. That's literally when you would get in a car with your parents and they turn on like the fucking news radio. You're like, oh my God, play music, please. Anything. Now some poor 7-year-old gets in the car, he gets in his car seat and they start playing me. I am this fucking generation's Paul Harvey. That's great. Oh, Christ. All right. How awful would that be? Some kids, because they hate me. They don't want to hear me. They don't even give me a chance, and I don't blame them. If you're 7, hate me. Please hate me. I demand that you hate me. There's no reason for you to like me, even if I act like you. But that's that's even more of a reason for you to hate me, because it's like you're 7. You're like, dude, I can do all this shit. And I'm like, fuck that. I'm 44. I can do all the shit you do, 7-year-old, and all the stuff a 44-year-old does. And that's terrible. I'm hogging everything. Act like a 44-year-old, dude. Buy some slippers. Shut the fuck up. But instead, I act like I'm goddamn 7. Throwing breakfast foods at everybody. God damn it, that's awesome. 7, you know what? If you are 7 and you're forced to listen to this show, take what I say to heart and just do everything that I say. That'd be even better. Hate me, but then act like me. Boy, your parents will be fucking furious, and then they will rue the day they played me for you, kid. Right? Unbuckle your car seat right now, and cover your dad's eyes. Do it. Unbuckle your car seat, lean forward, and cover your father's eyes. Damn it. Tell him to turn me off. Isn't there some Kids Bop shit you should be listening to? I'm serious. Isn't there some 5-year-old baby goo-goo gagaing his way through a fucking Trey Songz album? Honestly. God Christ. When those kids sing, they put them through that fucking auto-tune, right? They have to. Why would you auto-tune a kid? His voice isn't... that's embarrassing for a child. His voice isn't even his voice yet. They should let kids sing as kids and just like make it sound like, you know, because I mean, why are you making a face? Come on. Yes, they do, which is why they should let them. Don't trick people. No trickery, no chicanery. Don't turn a kid into an adult via auto-tune. Make a kid be a kid. Wait, actually, that's the wrong choice of words. Let a kid be a kid. Don't make a kid be a kid. Let a kid be a kid. Let them do what the fuck you want. A kid should do whatever the fuck they want. Honestly, this is another reason you don't want me having kids, because I feel that they should do whatever the fuck they want. I'm reading about there was another flash mob in Maryland. 28 kids burst into a 7-Eleven and stripped it clean. Awesome. Yes, awesome. I can't wait. I am right now. I'm gonna be like Michael Caine in Children of Men. I'm just gonna take my fucking comatose wife and live in the woods. That's it, and have but a cool stereo system and long hair. That's what I plan on doing. I don't know how I'm gonna get to the comatose wife part. Although let me tell you something, folks. I have a general idea how I'm gonna get there. I just don't know when. But I can tell you that day is rapidly approaching because. I was told today that I made kids happy by my wife, and I don't know what that means. All right, I generally, all right, let's put it this way. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to be truly honest with you. I do know what that means, because when my wife comes to me with some supposed nice thing or good thing that I've done, I know that means I spent some money that I wasn't going to spend, and it's a pattern. I'm not gonna get into it, but my wife sat down next to me today and she goes, "Hey, we made some kids very happy today." And I knew, again, I have a jaundiced eye because I know exactly what the fuck that means. And I go, "Why? How? How did I make? I was asleep all day. How the fuck did I make?" Although that, quite frankly, that makes kids happy. The fact that I'm asleep all day and I can't steal their 7-year-old thunder. Absolutely, they want me to sleep. Just stay out of their fucking. Let them be kids, and then just go ahead and snore it off. Although I don't snore anymore. So, and I looked at my wife and I go, "Why? How? Why?" And she goes, "Because we sent a box to my nieces, and she named them, and I've only met them a couple of times, these particular nieces, because again, when you have extended family, sometimes you meet them, but then you don't see them all the time. Well, these are, and again, they were very pleasant. I liked this family when I met them; they were very nice people. So I said, "What do you mean?" And she goes, "Well, I've been buying stuff all year to send to them, and I finally sent the box today." you've been buying stuff all year to send to these kids. Oh, just stuff at the dollar store. Oh, really? Well, of course. I mean, I knew it would have to be at the dollar store because that's how you justify going and spending any money at all, because you're like, oh, it was just $1, not realizing that if you are spending money, all right, look, if you're buying things that cost just $1 at the dollar store all year, you're not just spending $1, right? Probably not just $1. You very rarely get to go to the dollar store and buy something for $1, then return it the next day, and then return the next day and purchase it again, and then buy it the next day, and then return it and buy it. You're not buying the same thing over and fucking over. You're spending infinite dollars, right? I mean, I think maybe when you're buying things from the dollar store, they are still they're not a barter system, right? You didn't go trade like a chicken for a pinwheel. That never happened, right? You went ahead and you bought whatever the fuck bullshit, Weeble salt and pepper shakers, or Mexican candy, whatever the fuck you bought from them. You had to pay goods and services. You paid cash, right? And she just goes, come on, it's just a dollar store. Yes, but the key word of this sentence is all year. You've been buying things at the dollar store all year for 3 nieces and nephews. I'm assuming that wasn't one thing each, particularly because you needed a box to ship them in. So I said, what did you buy? She said, oh, just a lot. We bought some fun stuff. We didn't. I didn't. We didn't do anything, okay? I was not there in spirit. I did not drive the fucking getaway car. You know what? I wasn't there in spirit. I was there in wallet. That's how I was there. I was there in motherfucking wallet. It was just you and George Washington over and fucking over again. The only 3 people involved in this transaction are you, Washington, and Lincoln is change. That's it. Because it's fucking 99 cents for everything, and you get a fucking shiny Abe Lincoln right back. A fresh new wheat penny that you can bite. And oh, guess what? After you buy 100 things, which you no doubt did, then you can compile all of your Lincolns and get one more. Motherfucker. Let me ask you something. Do they have, let me see, it's a dollar store. They probably got a lot of things. Do they have a check register that you could purchase, or, I don't know, a calculator to figure out losses? Do they have that by any chance? How about a tent we can live in for $1? Do they have that? But thank God the kids are happy. They're just happy that they're going to get a box full of shit and not have to listen to Uncle Paul Harvey. That's it. They know they're not going to be trapped in a car listening to Uncle Paul Harvey talk about a story he can't tell them. They're kids. They want stories. They lay in bed, tell me a story, Daddy. Nobody wants to hear a story about the story that couldn't be told. They want to hear stories called the never-ending story, because that's a story that never ends. They don't want to hear the story about, oh, here's the story I could never tell. Let me tell you the story of the story that you'll never hear. No, these kids are happy because they got a fucking box full of nonsense. That's exactly what it is, too. Because I guarantee you it looks like my wife again. She's got a big foam cowboy hat and a fucking pinwheel and cowboy boots. Whee! If my wife had a state motto, if there was it would be wee. That's it. I would love to be my wife for 5 minutes just to have that perpetual feeling of constantly that first descent in the roller coaster. That's how my wife must feel all the time. Because you know what? I know how I feel. I'm the guy on the other side. I feel that first ascent of the roller coaster. I'm going up and up, and I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. You know what's going to happen, though? Whee! That's what's going to fucking happen. Oh, man. Thank God those kids are happy. I'm sure they'll be less happy when I have to move in with them. So I'm like, okay, well, all right, what was it? She goes, oh, I was buying like dollar little knickknacks all year. Those 2 words, all fucking year. And I guess I should be thankful that it ended in August. Maybe my wife has a fiscal gift purchasing year that I didn't know about that ends in August. Maybe that only runs 8 months. And then she takes the next 4 months to recover from the fucking drunken spending hangover of purchasing nonsense. Look, think of it this way. 8 months of buying shit at the dollar store. How big was that fucking box that she sent? You had to pack that motherfucking thing with a shovel. Seriously, she looked like those guys in the Titanic downstairs shoveling coal in to get the fucking engines fired up. She's just shoveling fucking whoobies and stupid fucking dolls, troll dolls, and all sorts of bullshit. Bulgarian writing pads and fucking and Czechoslovakian etch-a-sketches. There's not even a Czechoslovakia anymore. Do you understand? There's not even a Czechoslovakia anymore, and yet you go to the dollar store and they have Czechoslovakian bullshit there because it's all still there in a warehouse. Once that country ended, the fucking 99-cent stores sent the people in the hazmat suits to clear up any bullshit they could sell to the fucking natives of Czechoslovakia here. It's like their childhoods are on sale there. And, my wife is there competing with women in babushkas. Oh, dude. Well, look, it's a monkey stuffed with fiberglass. Take it. Ring it up. No, it's for a Czechoslovakian boy. No. My niece needs this. I'll be back tomorrow. That's the sound of me hitting myself in the forehead, folks. God damn it. Oh, fuck. You know what? I would find a bridge and jump off, but I know I would land on a garbage scow filled with dollar store crap that my wife was having shipped on a slow boat to our nieces in China. Or our future China baby. She knows future China baby's coming, so she's like, oh, I've been shopping for him all decade at the dollar store. And you know what's cute about it? Future China baby actually built all of it. I couldn't get that out. My fucking voice cracked. I was so happy to say that. My wife bought all this garbage shit at the dollar store for future China baby. Hey, future China baby worked in the factory and made it. You think the last thing he wants to see is that stuff? No fucking garbage scow filled in. God damn it, I'm fucking funny, folks. I am fucking, you know what? I am the greatest. Seriously. To fucking spin all the way into that? Jesus Christ, I'm awesome. I'm fucking poor, but I'm awesome. I'm awesomely poor. But thank God the children are happy. So I looked at her. And I was like, I go, come on, all right. So, but you shipped the box? She's like, yeah, I shipped it today. And I'm like, how much did you spend to ship it? And she goes, it wasn't bad. It was only like $15. And I'm just like, you know that money. I mean, it has to come from somewhere, right? You know it has to come from somewhere. Fuck, dude. I don't. All right. Does the dollar store sell guns? Could they possibly... Or even one bullet. If the dollar store sold bullets, I would buy one and bite it as hard as I fucking could until it went off. And just blew a hole through the side of my head. And candy would pour out that my wife would ship to our nieces and nephews. Making them happy. This is the candy out of Uncle Paul Harvey's head. The good thing is you don't have to hear him speak anymore. Oh, man. So at least I made some kids happy today, folks.
Hello, friend. I'm Representative Richard Martin, and I've spent countless hours lobbying the Jew-run FCC to keep programs like the 40-Year-Old Boy available to you, the filthy masses. You're welcome.
Hey, Lou. Angry in the hall, heading over to the mall to punch a boy. Terrible, I missed the syllable.
Punch a boy? All right, let me try it again.
All right. Hey, Lou. Angry in the hall, heading over to the mall to slap some children. Page 2. That's right. Uncle Paul Harvey with page 2. He's dead. All right, he's dead. He needs somebody to fill his shoes. Come on, who else? Who else better to bore you at noon with some backstory of Edgar Allan Poe than me? I should be in there doing it. No, you don't think so? All right. Lily even says no. Lily's very Sarah Palin today. She's got her she got her little hair up in a bun. She had her little glasses on when I walked in. I was like, "Ooh, hi, Sarah." How mad is Sarah Palin at Michelle Bachmann? Oh my God, how angry must she be that she was usurped? Michelle Bachmann. I was talking to Karen today when she wasn't informing me of our impending financial doom because I've made children happy all over the world. She decided she was talking about how she saw Michelle Bachmann yesterday, and she's like a robot with like crazy eyes. I'm like, yeah, she is. But there's enough people out there who are like, you know what? That's what this country needs. It's about time we had a robot with crazy eyes running this country, right? And look, I don't want to see everything go to hell, but part of me wants to see everything go to hell. So yeah, by all means, President Bachmann sounds fine. Because if she's that, look, you see who she picked as a husband. Who the fuck is she gonna pick as a running mate? She might just pick like she doesn't like gays. She thinks that we should not raise the. She may just pick like a wooden statue or something, like, you know what I mean? Some statue of a Calvinist. That's who's going to be her fucking vice president. Nominate her, please. Nominate her, please. Because it's a win-win, because she never wins. She has no chance of fucking winning, but we get all of this time of watching her campaign and just out there fucking with that weird, crazy face Stepford bullshit and making and yet. But I will tell you this, all right? She said "Happy Birthday, Elvis" yesterday. That was the thing. She said "Happy Birthday, Elvis." When it wasn't Elvis's birthday, and everybody's like, "Oh, stupid Michelle Bachmann! Ha ha ha! Happy birthday, Elvis!" Hey, I don't want my president knowing when the fuck Elvis's birthday is. All right, I don't. I think it worked in her fucking favor. Whether she knows it, because she should have just said when they're like "Happy birthday" and people are making fun of her, "Oh, haha, it's his death day, not his birthday." She should go, "I don't give a fuck about Elvis. Do you understand? This country is burning." That's what she should have said. Shame everybody for caring about fucking Elvis's birthday or death day. Who the fuck cares? She's running for president, not president of TMZ. She's running for president of the fucking United States. I don't want her. The fucking United States. That's the weirdest. That's the most superfluous curse I've ever had on this show. You fucking United States. I threw that. Why? Jesus, I swear a lot. If I'm breaking up the first letter of a word, that's almost like I just invented like a new pig Latin. Like if you said fucking after the first letter of every word in your sentence. You fucking United S fucking States. But then S is gone. Yeah, S Tates. I would say S fucking Tates. Oh, Jesus. Oh, fucking A fucking America. That's not bad. I guess that worked. Literally those three words that worked. Nothing else that would work. If you ever had another sentence. T fucking he. Q fucking wick. B fucking round. F fucking ox. J fucking umped. O fucking ver. T fucking he. L fucking az. D fucking og. All right. Yeah, that's not a language. I take it back. All right. Right now, there's a kid. He's covering his father's eyes, hoping the car crashes. He doesn't even want. It's not even to turn him off anymore. He's like, I've been so scarred by this. Just fucking crash into a fucking overpass. Just hit a median. Let's flip and let's turn my entire skull into the soft spot. Oh man, that baby wants out. I cannot blame him. But doesn't he know when he gets older, I'll make him very happy? No, he does not. All he hears now is my voice droning in his head and him going, why am I belted into this seat within a seat? So, what the fuck was I talking about? I don't remember. I'm lost. Michelle Bachmann. Because I don't, please win. Please win. I want her to win. I demand that she wins. Or Rick Perry. I hope her and Rick Perry just team up. That would be great. They should, because here's what will happen. If they win, whoever's the president or the vice president, let's just say that he wins and picks her to be the vice president. And then on the night that they win the election, they will morph into like one like gigantic demon monster. It's going to be fucking awesome. President Succubus. President Hecubus. Not Hecubus. Hecubus is from Kids in the Hall. Evil. God damn, that's funny. I saw it, Master, and his wife was the killer. Evil. God damn it. Kids in the Hall are genius. All right. Hey, folks. As I sit here with my tweakedaudio.com/40 earbuds perched upon my head, actually jammed into my ears. If they were perched upon my head, that would not be good at all. I wouldn't hear myself talk. I couldn't hear myself think. And that's not good, right? We need to hear myself think. I don't think. Who thinks? I don't think, please. Do you think I thought up that whole thing about real worms? No. It just came out, goddammit. My head's a syrup bottle that's getting tipped over every Wednesday. And it's just, you can't stop it. Literally, it's like it coats you. You're covered in it, in my sticky syrup. That's what you're coated in, folks. My head is a syrup bottle, and every Wednesday night I tip it over, and then on Thursday you revel in it. You roll around in the puddle. You are covered in my sticky syrup. Enjoy it. All right. What? See, you took it to a dirty place. I meant it in a syrupy way. Yeah. I talked about waffles earlier. It's relevant.
Okay.
You'll allow it. We'll allow it. I'll allow it. That's right. You, we, and I. Which, by the way, is my favorite Fred McMurray film from the 60s. He's got 4 kids. He marries Lucille Ball, who has 4 kids. Then they get into a trailer and they drive cross country. You, we, and I. All right. That's like 9 movies I just combined into one fucking film. The long trailer, all that bullshit. All right, so, folks, let me tell you this. I am back on terra firma. I am back in Los Angeles, California. I am back where nobody knows my name. I am the anti-Norm. This is the anti-Cheers, but I am here because I live here. And I'm here. Oh, what are you looking at? Something going on? You're freaking me out, Sarah.
Weirdness.
There's weirdness on the ledge. You're on the 4th floor.
Do you really want to get into this?
Well, yes, because I'm talking and I see you like looking over my head. Is something behind me?
Not behind you, outside.
Okay.
The building next to us.
Yes.
We did the roof on it. And
Okay.
There's just some people out there right now, and I saw movement, and so I was like, "Oh, is there a giant bug? Are we being invaded?" No, it's just someone looking at the roof. Okay.
Let me ask you something. You see movement on a roof, and your mind immediately goes, is that a giant bug? Are we being invaded? Really? Honestly?
I went and saw Aliens versus Cowboys.
Oh, okay.
Cowboys versus Aliens.
Yes.
I am now looking for giant bugs in the sky flying.
At all times. That's your first instinct. So you, oh my God, I thought I was haunted.
Zombies, I think flying bugs.
All
Giant
right.
Flying alien bugs.
Okay, all right, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, we got our old predilections. That's fine. Yours is for giant flying bugs. But just that just seems like a hard space to live in.
Wasted radio.
Huh? Yeah, it is. It's terrible.
Talking about-
All of this is. The whole thing is. We should scrap the entire show. That's right.
No, the show was great till I looked over your shoulder and freaked you out.
Page 3. All right. This is the worst Uncle Paul Harvey show of all time. Holy shit. See, I told you a backstory about aliens and shit. Perfect. That's great. Oh, my God, kids. Come on, hop on board with me. I'm a legend. I'm going to be in the Podcasters Hall of Fame someday. Look at the Podcasters Hall of Fame. Fucking shoebox. It slips of paper in it. Literally. No busts. So, folks, as I said here, I am back in town because I was out of town. I had to go, as you know, if you remember from last week, again, more of a book than a movie. When we last left our hero, he was trying to hustle out the door so he could get home and get to the airport so he can catch a flight to New York and perform live for people out there on the East Coast. And so last week I left here and everything was fine. I was flying home. I had to pack, get home, and take care of a bunch of stuff. Flew a red eye. And I like flying a red eye partially, and partially I do not. Let's put it this way. When I was a human being, I used to enjoy flying a red eye. Because I would get to the airport and I would get on the fucking plane and I can sleep anywhere. As I've told you, I can sleep standing up. I can sleep in a car, a plane. Could I with a box? Could I with a fox? Of course I would. Do I want green eggs and sleep? Yes, I do. Sam, you sheep. All right. So, but now as a vampire, I can tell you the red eye, not ideal. Because I'm going to be up on the fucking plane and listening to everybody snore and do whatever that fucking thing is. And again, if I was a true vampire, it'd be fine because it's quality feeding time. I could go ahead and start, biting people, my seatmates certainly, anybody, and get my fill of blood. By the way, speaking of, all right, now that we mentioned that, did you see the clip of the bat on the plane?
No.
You didn't see it? There's a clip. All right, go find it. It's on CNN. If you like Google bat rabies on plane, whatever the fuck, it will come up. There's an actual clip. It was a Delta flight, I think, and it's a guy filming in the cabin, and there's a bat flying to and up and down the tube, and people are trying to swat it, which, fuck you. You're trying to swat. What are you, a hero? You're going to swat the bat? What the fuck are you going to do if you hit it? Because then it's going to land in your lap, and you're going to freak out like a lady as it bites your balls. But so it's literally flying up and down, then they trap it in the bathroom. They had to turn the plane around and come back, and everybody had to get looked at for rabies. But here's why I mention it, folks. Normally it wouldn't even mention, because I was vampire on plane, all right, as I mentioned, but they had vampire bat on plane. But you're wondering, what's the connection? Why the fuck would Mike bring that up? Well, because I fucking tell you anything that's in my goddamn head, first of all. But second of all, because if you watch that clip, folks, CNN branded their name on it, along with the guy who filmed the clip, because the guy in the plane filmed it, and he was smart. He put his name on it, so whenever any news crew ran it, they would have to see his name, Mike Schmidt.
Nice.
And it made me laugh, because I'm like, I was on a plane that day, When I was in New York is when I saw the clip, and I'm like, I could have, God damn it, why couldn't I have been the Mike Schmidt who filmed a bat on his plane? But then we would have had to turn around, and it would have been all fucking terrible. I did have a bat on my plane, but she sat next to me, and I'll get to that in a minute. So I wind up at the airport, and I'm worried I can't sleep. And I got in my own head about it, because I should have just gotten on the plane and tried to sleep. But I decided, well, the good news is I brought a book, because I don't deal in magazines anymore, folks. I don't bring them. Magazines are filth. I don't know why. I think I am so weird. Weird. I hate magazines. You know why? Because everything is so immediate now, and magazines are so not. They're just this snapshot in time. Like when you pick up a magazine, it might as well be telling you about flappers and the Charleston. Yes, it's completely true. Because everything I need everything fucking now, man. Twitter and Facebook and the internet, everything is now. Breaking fucking news. And magazines, when you see them again, the people on the cover could be dead. Like it's literally like President Taft declares a medical emergency. I mean, seriously, that's what all of them look like to me. Even the news magazines up to because Time and Newsweek have stopped even trying to be news magazines, and they're now more opinion or writing feature articles. They don't report anything that's happened because they know they've been beaten in that fucking game. I mean, they're completely out of it. There is no more immediacy to news in magazines or any timeliness to any sort of story. And fuck, I don't want to read a magazine either to read it. Someone told me to get the new GQ because it was the comedy issue. And because I will tell you this, when I think of comedy, immediately I think of GQ or Vanity Fair. I had a guy write me from Vanity Fair. Hi, Mike. If you truly listen, as you purported that you do. He was a nice guy. He just wrote a book, and he was like, so he wanted to send me his book, which was very nice of him, and I appreciate it. But yeah, those magazines are just death. Like you pick them up, and especially look. No offense, Mike. All right, hold on, duck, because I'm about to fucking come after Vanity Fair. I'm being truly honest when I ask this. Is the streak of stories about the Kennedys still alive in Vanity Fair? It seems like every time I look at it, it's like, oh, we found one of Kennedy's handkerchiefs. What story could it tell? Well, I got a story for you. He's dead. How about that? That's even how it ends. Actually, take that. That's how it fucking begins. Hold on. That's how the Kennedy story begins. He's dead. And then forget it. Fucking everybody runs with it. Mini-series is still. Now, Greg Kinnear played him last year. And it's like, dude, fuck. No one cares. All right? Send that whole family skiing in a forest. It got one of them. So, well, that's not nice. They're having a tough time. Sure they are. I understand they're going to have to shovel double shovels of money to keep warm this winter on the Cape. Yeah, that's Marv Weber. Marv Weber showed up. All right, Mav Weber. Pardon me, I can't pronounce that R. Mav Weber. Stop. All right. So I'm at the airport, and the good news is I got a book. So look at the fun we had right there just with talking to me about having a book. I explained to you I had a book. I said I had a book, and then I had to qualify it without magazines, and then boom, look what we had there. Uncle Paul Harvey just went off and told you all about magazines. Christ, I can't believe you're still listening. All right, so you may not be. You may have just clicked it off. You may have reached over and checked another station. There's no other station. So, the good news is I'm going to read a book. So I get to the airport, and I check in without incident. Met a girl in line who was very, I will tell you, all right, let's get to this real fast. I had a red eye, so I get to the airport at 9:30 for my 11:30 flight, and I get in the security line. Everything was fine. I breezed through. I gave my stuff to the guy outside, the coach. What's he called? That dude? Skycap. There he is, Skycap. And in L.A., it's funny, the Skycap's a wasteland. Like they're all just standing there praying that they're like sharks circling as anybody who gets out of a cab. Help you, sir? Because nobody uses the fucking Skycap. So I walk in, I give him my bag, Skycap, give him a couple of bucks because I got that kind of money. It hasn't been spent on juniper berry seeds yet. No one bought a Czechoslovakian Uno deck. Which, by the way, I don't know what they call it there. They can't call it Uno. There's no way in Czechoslovakia they call it Uno, right? It's got to be called something completely different. Although, wait, Czechoslovakia's gone. They have no numbers anymore. It's a dead language. Dead country. Dead all around. But it won't stop my wife from buying a can of soup from there. Okay. I told that story once when she came home with toothpaste from India, like this, like close up from India, and it just I'll tell you what, it's supposed to be the same as regular close up. I couldn't bring myself to use it, especially because the tube would only squeeze out one dot at a time. All right, so what was I talking about? Being at the airport. Oh, bringing my book. So I go through security, as I said, and it was I get there and there's a long line. Like I walk in and I go up the thing. I couldn't believe there was a long line in security. 9:30, I guess there was. But even worse, all right, is there's a long line of Asian people with passports in security. Which the only problem with that is it's not the people, it's the TSA agents. Because then they have to ask their name. They got to try to read their name on the passport. They read it out loud, have them repeat it. It was just grim. I mean, I knew it was going to be a really long fucking haul, especially because for some reason, dudes, it's Los Angeles, all right? Right, second largest city in America. I said off the top of my head and hoped it was true. But they have 2 fucking security lines open on in this part of the airport. What are you? No wonder it's so fucking long. Get some people out here, Jesus Christ! What are they doing? Are they frisking bums? Are they what? Get me on my fucking plane. So the woman in front of me was we started a conversation. It turns out she was going to New York on the same flight. We couldn't help but talk because it was so fucking long. And she's in a church group. She told me that. She's like, "Oh, I'm in a church." And she's like, "What are you going there?" I said, "For business." And she said, "What kind of business?" I said, I'm doing a show." And she was young, so I go, "Do you know what podcasting is?" She goes, "Yeah." So I told her I had a podcast. She goes, "Oh, what's the name of it?" I go, "It's called A Show You Will Never Want to Listen to in Your Entire Life." And she laughed, and she goes, "Really?" And I go, "Well, if you run a church group of 8,000 people, the last thing you want to hear is a real look. It gets salty. I won't lie to you, folks." I didn't call her folks. That would be ridiculous. I said it gets salty. You don't want to hear it. And she's like, "Well, I'll tell you what. It's funny you would say that. Well, the other day, I was in the office with our pastor, and we have this one woman who she's kind of a pill, and she complains a lot. And so she was complaining, and then she left. And I looked at my pastor and I said, "So what should we do first?" And he goes, "The first thing we should do is get her laid." And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I couldn't believe it. And he goes, "Probably as a pastor, I shouldn't say that sort of thing, but sometimes you just get tired of hearing people complain." And she's like, "So I think I could handle it." Nope. No, you could not handle it. But I told her the name just in case she ever decides to leave the priesthood and turn to the dark side. She can join me and Palpatine here talking about fucking toothpaste dots. So we got along, and it's, like I said, uneventful. We got through it just really long, and then they took these poor Asian kids aside, and they're going through their backpacks. It's like, dude, they're not the problem, okay? The problem is you guys and your fucking nonsense, and you're fucking scanning people and arbitrarily. But I was happy because they don't scan me. Big fat white guy gets through all the time, so I made it through. And I had my plane costume on. I had my flannel shirt, my Phillies hat. Stopped to get, and I usually fly either when it's very early or very late. So very early, nothing's open. Very late, everything's closing. So, and I don't want to eat in the airport anyway, but I have to get a water for the plane. So I get in line at this fucking deli, and I open my bag. I grab some water, and I look in my bag, and guess what Mike doesn't bring? His book. I have a 5.5-hour flight ahead of me with no book. So now I'm going to, sit in the dark and stare? That doesn't, because I know I'm going to be awake. I know I'm going to stay awake in this fucking plane. I wish I could sleep. I could probably coax some sleep out of myself, but fuck, no book. So I figure, I get the water. I start walking, and there's one of those airport bookstores, and I'm like, all right, fuck it. You know what? I'm going to buy a book. I have to buy a book because I can't just stare. And then in my head, I go, hey, why not get a magazine? Oh, dude, don't you remember you hate magazines? You're about to step on. I mean, if I was stepping onto a turboprop and flying to Casablanca, then I get a magazine. Nowadays, bringing a fucking magazine on the plane, fuck that. They won't even let you on. They're like, "Sorry, sir, that technology is not advanced enough to be on this flying air contraption." The FAC, that's what they call it. So I go into the bookstore, and I'm looking for books. And here's something you need to know about me, folks. I'm on I know I need a book. I want a book, but I don't want to buy a book. Like I in my head, I'm trying to think about how I could steal a book or charm them out of one, or find a free book that they're giving away, because I don't want to spend the fucking money, because you can't. All right, books know that they're dying. They should know that they're dying, and because they know that they're dying, shouldn't they price themselves accordingly? Shouldn't they, in their minds, just go, yeah, you know what? These books are like $9 or even 50 cents. Who cares? Fucking take it. It should be like when you go to a garage sale and there's that stack of musty books that nobody's cracked open since the fucking 60s. That's what every bookstore in the fucking world should be, but with a roof, okay? Because books are dead. You're fucking finished. Print is dead. It's all Kindles. It's all boom, boom, iPads and all that kind of shit. Or it's all, you know what it is? It's all poor fucking souls who forget their book at home and they know they got you by the goddamn book balls. So I walk in and everything's fucking tons of dough. Like all these books they cost money. Fuck money. Fuck books. But I can't. And so I literally, my flight's in about an hour and 45 minutes. I spent about 45 minutes in the bookstore walking in circles, trying to convince myself to buy a book, but not wanting to, because again, the brick and mortar fucking bookstore, all they do is reach into your goddamn wallet. I would have had better luck. And I bet it would have worked too, especially with the fucking way technology is now. You know how I hate fucking magazines and shit like that. I like the now. I like boom, everything immediate. I'll bet you I could have gotten on my fucking iPhone, used my Amazon app, ordered a book, and had it delivered to me in the sky. I really think, and it still would have only cost me $12. That's how fucking efficient it is to order from Amazon. Meanwhile, you trudge through a goddamn bookstore, and it's there might as well just be a guy there with a club and a sack. So he hits you on the head, and when you tip over, all your money spills into his bag, and he gleefully hops into the back. And you wake up with a fucking William Faulkner on your chest, which is not a sex act, unfortunately. It is not. Actually, it is. It's you know what a Cleveland steamer is? A William Faulkner is that with a monocle. Yeah. The Faulkner. Next time you're with a hooker, pay her. Just, you know what? I want a William Faulkner. What the hell is that? You don't know what a William Faulkner is? Cleveland steamer with a monocle. Jesus, fuck, I'm funny. All right, so I went through the bookstore and I'm looking for anything to buy, and I narrow it down. There's some titles that I want, but again, I know on Amazon they're only like $6. Like, why the fuck would I spend the money here? But because I don't want to spend 5.5 hours of death in the air, just staring straight ahead in the dark. So I look around and I look at every single title in the store. I even look at the magazines. I look at this GQ one I heard so much about, and it's like, there's Mila Kunis on the cover, and it's talking about comedy. I'm like, there's nothing more depressing to me than to read the comedy issue of a magazine knowing that I have never, I will never be in it, ever, in a million fucking years. I wish that's true. That's just honesty. I wish I could disassociate myself and go, I love to read about comedy. It's my chosen profession. Instead, I have to chalk it up to the fact that, I will never be these people. I will. And then when you see in the comedy issue and they put in some actor from a TV series, you're like, yeah, he's a comedian. All right, shut up. So he's really funny saying everybody else's words. So, this is my fault. It's my hang up, not theirs or yours. So I walk through 45 minutes. I'm in the bookstore. I'm looking at every single title, and there's some that I want, but I can't bring myself to buy them. And I can't. In my head, I'm like, I keep convincing myself of Amazon. But here's the real reason. I'm trying to convince myself whether to get not to get a book, but I'm also in there because in the far right hand corner of the store, there's a woman, and she is standing by this group of books, and on top of it, she has like a tour book of New Zealand. It was New Zealand or Australia. I'm pretty sure it was New Zealand. And she is reading the book. She has it flat out, and she's Googling stuff out of the book or texting it, and she's taking photos of the inside of the book. Like she's a spy, and she's getting information out of the New Zealand. Like she's going to take down New Zealand, and she's found this guide. This was the guide. This is the absolute New Zealand guide that she needed to take down the government from within, and she's taking snapshots of pictures. Well, that's fine. I don't care. She wants to fucking act weird in the airport. Go right ahead. If she's getting on my plane, however, I am immediately reporting her. She was taking snapshots of information. She might have a bunch of stuff on her phone. Tackle her. But don't look at my phone. I have nothing weird on my phone. By all means, leave my phone alone. Here's something funny. All right, I'll digress really fast. Yesterday, I was at work, and I had an incident with an old lady. I'll get into that in a minute. I'll tell you another time. I got to talk about something else. All right, so last night I'm at work, and do you remember me telling you the story about the woman who she was telling me a story about her friend who had passed away, and then finally I just went like, I don't fucking care. All right, she's really nice. So I didn't talk to her for like 5 weeks. And then she poked her head into the office one day, and I go, hey, I owe you an apology And she's like, what? No. And I go, I do. Last time I saw you, I kind of lost it, and it was rude, and it was silly, and you were just telling me something, and it was my fault. And so we got along. So we get along now. Everything's fine. Well, I haven't seen her in a couple of weeks. She's been out of town. So she came in last night, and we were catching up. She's telling me about her thing. And this was pre-old lady. I should tell you that. You don't care. So she came in, we were talking, and I told her about Philadelphia, and then I told her about my phone. And again, she knows I do a show, but she doesn't listen to it. So I started telling her about the phone, and then I told her the story about the pictures. I said, she's like, what do they have if they have your phone? I go, nothing. I go, I've taken my number. I go, all they have is literally they got all my music and a picture of my cock. That's all they have. And you forget you're talking in shorthand to real people. And she looks at me and she makes her eyes huge, saucers, like fucking huge eyes. She goes, what? And I go, yeah, absolutely. And she's like, you had, and she can't stop laughing. She starts laughing hard and she can't stop laughing. She's like, why do you have a picture of that on your phone? I said, because you never know when you're going to need a picture of that on your phone. Listen. I go, I took the photo. He looked great. He was very photogenic. It was a good day for him. So I said, you know what? I'm keeping it. And she's like going to fall off the chair laughing. She's dying. And she's just like, oh my God. And then I told her the story about the kids, the pictures of the kids in the pool. I said, yeah. So then I was in the hotel and the kids had the pictures. Now, so he's got all these pictures he's got a picture of my cock and like 5 pictures of kids in a swimming pool. And she loses her mind. Like she almost does a somersault. She's laughing so hard. And she's like, oh, this is the greatest story I've ever heard. I'm like, yeah, listen to my show. But don't listen to the one like 2 months ago. Skip that one. And then so she goes up to her room, and then I'm in the room, and then I get a phone call from a fucking old lady losing her mind because people were moving in the middle of the night, and she was mad, and then some guy was practicing his drums. All right, never mind. You don't care. Nobody cares. So I'm in the bookstore. This woman is taking this woman's taking pictures of New Zealand. She's getting her dossier together so she can take the government down from within. But here's why I can't leave, okay? Because I've looked at every single title in the store. I'm trying to convince myself whether or not I'm going to buy a book, but also she's got her New Zealand book out. She's covering up 5 book stacks. And I can't leave until I see what those stacks of books are. Just in case it's the book I've been waiting for. Because I'm on the fence about everything else, but what if it's the book that makes me go, oh, I wanted this book since I was a child. Oh, I have to purchase this immediately. Well, I can't look, though, because fucking Cloak and Dagger is taking pictures of New Zealand. I can't fucking get in there. And I don't want to ask her to step aside because then she's going to take my photo, and then the next thing you know, you find me dead from sarin poisoning. Which actually I'm going to get from Czechoslovakian soup. Believe me, if you find me dead from sarin poisoning, no, it was either the woman from New Zealand or I ate a can of soup from Bulgaria from fucking 1961. If you ever see any pictures of the wall coming down where those guys are standing and they're holding shit in the air, look really closely. One of them's holding a metal can. That's the can of soup he used to bang down the last brick of the Berlin Wall. That's in my cabinet waiting for me to eat it and die. So I can't leave the bookstore till I see what the fucking books are that are stacked up underneath this woman's New Zealand tome. And I'm like, oh, I can't. I'm a child. I won't leave. I'm kicking the floor. I'm scuffling. I'm looking around at other titles. True crime. Nobody gives a shit about true crime. I don't want to read anything true. Fuck. I'm getting on a plane and I'm walking around. 45 minutes it takes me. And I was going to buy The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I had it in my hand. I'm like, you know what, dude? The movie's going to come out, and I loved the trailer. You should get ahead of the game and buy it. I said, I bet I could fucking read this on the plane and be done with it. But then I'm like, dude, I don't, and again, it's $15 because it's the soft cover. But in my head, I'm going, don't spend $15 on this. You can't. I just order from Amazon for $4. I mean, it's $4, and whatever the fucking massage, whatever they fucking send you, because Amazon wants you to buy shit. So finally, in all of my hemming and hawing, I'm looking at The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and I'm the girl who kicked the hornet's nest, and then there's the ESPN book, and I'm like, maybe I'll take that. I don't know. And finally, I look, New Zealand's gone. Fuck yeah, make a beeline over there. So I make a beeline over there, and nothing, of course, fucking bullshit. Literally, one of them was the Guns N' Roses autobiography, which I've already read. One of them was Sammy Hagar's book, which I am not purchasing because I know Pat has it. And then what were the other two? Like the other two, who fucking cares? You know what I mean? I was like, really? That's why you waited all in this whole time to see these? So then I just fuck it, leave. I got a grip on myself. I go, you know what? Your plane leaves now. Now you're down to almost like an hour. Just leave. So I walk down to the bookstore. I turn the corner. I go to walk, and in the front window there's a display, and there's Albert Brooks's book, 2030. And I went, oh yeah, I'll buy that. And I went back into the bookstore, literally, because I was waiting for the one book that would say you have to have that. And I come on, Albert Brooks. I don't give a fuck if Albert Brooks wrote a book called Fuck You, Mike. I'm buying that book. That guy's a genius. He deserves every fucking dime that I can send to him. So I walk in and I had to tell the lady to get it because it was in the fucking the tiny little slot she had to slip in, and she grabbed it, $29. But that's okay. Howard Brooks deserves it. I can justify it to him. All right, he deserves it. He's literally print is dead. The only person who should be allowed to publish real books is Albert Brooks. Books by Brooks. He should just open a store. He should be the only bookstore in the world, Books by Brooks, and it's all things that he's written, and he would deserve it. So I buy his book. I walk out. I'm like, fine. I go to get in the plane, and I hear yelling, and I'm like, oh, that's you don't want to hear yelling at the airport. You never, ever want to hear yelling at the airport. I get to my gate, and sure enough, it's at my gate. And it's just literally just this screaming match, and there's yarmulkes flying, and everybody's upset. And what it is we have a full flight, and so some people can't sit together. So they've broken up like a Jewish family. And when I say Jewish family, I don't mean just like the nuclear family. I mean the Wailing Wall itself was built between first class and coach on this plane. That's how Jewish this plane was. I mean, it's like tons of yarmulkes, and this family is furious. And there's the old grandmother who looks like Golda Meir and has like black. She's wearing like a black shroud. I mean, I half expected them to have a body that they were transporting as well. Like and Edna was going to be on the top of the plane, like in fucking Vacation. So this woman is yelling, and she's not happy, and she's screaming, and she's going. And it's funny, her husband is sitting next to me. It's the open seat. I sit right down next to him, and he's on his cell phone. Yeah, we're about to get on the plane. He's cheerful. He's happy. He's let his wife be the assassin. Meanwhile, there's like 1,000 kids and a grandmother and a grandpa, and then 2 other guys, and they're all wearing the outfit, and I felt bad for them, but I will tell you. But let me tell you this: the American. I like American Airlines. All right, I like to fly American Airlines, but they fucked me on this plane too. Not on the way there, but on the way home. When I booked the flight, we all know me, right side of the plane window. That's where I sit, and that's what I booked. So when I checked into the plane, I noticed on the way home they didn't have me by a fucking window. It's one of those planes where it's 2, 3, 2, 2 on each side and 3 in the middle. They had me in the aisle, they had me in the middle 3 on the right hand aisle, and I used to sit there when I was crazy fat, and then they kept ramming that fucking cart into my leg, so I went now I sit at the window because I don't move when I get on a goddamn plane. So I was furious. I'm like, why do you fucking change it? Because it said right when I checked in, we were unable to give you a seat assignment, so we went ahead and picked one for you. And it's like, at least they did that. If it was a middle seat, we're not even doing the show because you're still reading my autopsy report as I fucking forced the plane into the drink the 3rd hour in. So these people are yelling and screaming. Finally, they start boarding the plane. I get in the plane, and I'm sitting in almost the very back of the plane. I'm in row 38. And there's 40 rows. Put my stuff up, get in my seat. I'm ready. And seems like the plane is getting full. Nobody's in there. And I'm starting to wonder, because when I checked in, there was someone next to me, but maybe they didn't show up. Who knows what happens? So they start closing the top stuff, and I'm starting to think it's going to be amazing, and a red eye with nobody next to me in the dark. It's going to be fucking fantastic. Sprawl out. So I noticed, though, however, that while there's 2 different aisles in this plane, and the far aisle away from me is moving at a pretty brisk clip. There's people still coming in. But I notice in my aisle, even though they're closing some stuff on the other side, they're not closing anything on my side because there's still a ton of people, but they're not moving. And I can't figure out why they're not moving. They're moving very slowly. It almost looks like like you take 1 step and stop. 1 step and stop. And that's everybody that I can see. And they're moving down the aisle. They're getting closer and closer to me, but it's, some people are getting their seats, but it seems like they're moving, and you can see they're fucking pissed. And I'm like, well, just fucking walk. What the hell's wrong with you? I don't know if they're looking for a place to put their luggage. I can't figure it out. So as it comes into view and they get a little closer, they get about 5 rows away from me. I see hair. Like a floating patch of black hair. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. Is that a ghost? Is there a ghost on the plane? Like the ghost of Cy Sperling with a toupee? What the fuck? Who's here? I have no idea. So as they're getting closer, and all of a sudden a vision takes shape there is someone attached to the hair. And as they walk, she's just like this 90-year-old Filipino woman, this crone who's like bent over. And she's rapidly approaching for her, not rapidly for anybody else in the world. This woman's standing heart rate is 4. So she's not getting excited about anything. You can just see this grim face, and she's walking. She looks like she's in a funeral procession, as I said. Everybody's coming forward one step at a time, and people are rolling their eyes, and she gets closer and closer. And as she keeps coming, I'm like, all right, well, maybe, I'm going to get lucky here. And she'll sit next to me because obviously, because again, I couldn't even see her over the seat. That's not even a joke. I just saw black hair. She was on her way to New York for a wedding. She was. She didn't tell me that. I just assumed she had to be there to stand on the cake. So she's coming down the aisle, and she's getting closer and closer. And finally, she gets to row 38, where I am, and she stops. And even it's very deliberate. I can't even explain to you. She stops and turns around, like shuffles around. And her eyes are kind of heavy lidded, almost like she's half asleep. And she looks at me, and I won't do it justice telling it, but I will tell you, her eyes got huge, like her eyes popped really wide, and she actually went, she gasped when she turned and saw me. And look, I understand it. Okay, I'm a monster. Okay, we can all agree that I'm a monster. And when you're that tiny that people can't see you over the seats, when you come over and you're confronted by 6'2", 335, you're probably a little thrown at that point. You know what I mean? You see me, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, hi, have a seat. I'll grind your bones to make my bread. I mean, seriously, I don't know what she's expecting out of me at that point. Yes, you're in 38F for fee, fi, fo, fum, please. So she comes down and she sees me and literally pops her eyes, almost like, you remember the old, here's your ancient Chinese secret, Calgon. And when the girl would say Calgon, she popped her Asian eyes. This woman pops her eyes as if I was there to take her away. All right. She looks at me and she's just like, gasps, wide eyes. And I look at her and I go, hi. And she goes, oh, no. No, no, no. And I'm looking at her like, because I don't understand what she's doing. And she's just, I guess she's old and doesn't care. She has no filter and can't keep her thoughts inside of her head. But literally, she's, oh, no, 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 no. She's just saying and shaking her head. No, no. Like, she's trying to wish me away. Like, she's saying, if she says no enough times, perhaps I'll fucking dissolve and wind up downstairs in the cabin of luggage. Is that what they call it? I couldn't think of what it was. The galley, but no, it's the cabin of luggage. Dude, that was my favorite showcase to shop at on Price is Right. At the end, when they would have the cabin of luggage, and it could all be yours. The cabin of luggage, stupid. That's all my brain could think of. So she's like, no, no, no. You know what she sounds and looks like? You know what she sounded like? Fucking the maid on Family Guy. No, no. I stay. I clean. So she says, no, no. And she literally points at me. No, no. And I don't know what the fuck to say. I'm just like, well, what? And she walks off to the back of the plane. Like she doesn't sit down. So she comes back with a stewardess. She brings the fucking sky waitress over and she's like, no, I look and I'm looking at the waitress like, what's going on? And she's like, and she goes, do you have your ticket? And she gives her a boarding pass. She goes, yes, this is your seat. And the woman just shakes her head and goes, no, no. And she goes, yes, this is your seat. And she just kind of makes this resigned face, like she looks around the plane, and then she finally settles in and sits down. And the thing is, she's tiny. She's fucking so small. And then she looks and she points. I had the armrest up because I was sitting in the thing. And usually when someone sits down next to me, then I will put the armrest down because obviously I don't want to encroach on their personal space, whatever the fuck. They're never going to see the armrest the entire flight, but who cares? I'll put it down as a gesture of courtesy. Courtesy's out the motherfucking window at this point when I get pointed at like I'm Godzilla on the goddamn fucking plane. So I leave the armrest up. She sits down and she goes, no, no. And she points because that's all she can say is no. She doesn't say hi or bye or fuck you or anything or Mothra. I expect her to say Mothra. At least sing it, Mothra. So no, but she points and I think she's pointing at me. And no, she's pointing at the armrest. And I point. So I go. Again, we're communicating with. She might as well have just called me Bright Eyes, honestly. Because I'm Charlton Heston in fucking Planet of the Apes. It's like, get your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty grandma. And she points, and I reach up, and I've got the armrest, and I like nod like this, and I point, and she goes, eh. And she wants me to put the armrest down, even though she's in the chair, but she's still 6 feet away from me. She's that far. She may as well be across the aisle. That's how tiny she is. But she still wants the fucking armrest down to cause me maximum discomfort. And I'm like, who the fuck are you? How do you even know how the armrest works? You come from a tiny village where the strongest warrior has to rope the largest bird for you guys to fly anywhere, motherfucker. And you're gonna pull rank on me on a motherfucking airplane? God damn it! You know what I should have done? She should have pointed at the armrest. I should have gone, no. But I put it down. And she then proceeds, and this is not a joke, she attaches her belt, and it's like the loosest seatbelt of all time. And she turns facing forward, and she takes a handkerchief out of her bag and puts it on top of her head, unfolds it and puts a handkerchief on her head, and immediately begins crossing herself. Just crossing herself over and over. She won't stop. And at this point, I don't know if it's whether she's praying to Jesus for a safe flight or for something bad to happen to me. I'm prepared for either one. And I don't know what the fuck she's upset about. She's got the cushiest seat on the plane if there's an accident. If there's an accident, we go down, all you got to do is cut me open and climb inside like a fucking tauntaun. You'll stay warm and safe until the fucking authorities show up and save you, goddammit. I'm your saving grace in a fucking plane crash. Fuck your seat cushion as a flotation device. You're sitting next to a fucking 6'2", 335-pound flotation device. Fucking whip out your nails and cut me open and dive right inside. You'll stay warm and dry until the frogmen come for you. Motherfucker. I was so fucking pissed off. Like, I mean, and again, why? Why am I pissed? No reason. So she sits down and she's crossing herself. She's got her fucking handkerchief on, and they turn all the lights out now. We start taxiing. And so I'm like, all right, well, I've got to turn my light on. I time to read my fucking Albert Brooks book. I turn my light on. My light doesn't work.
Oh, my God.
$28 for a book. My light does not work in my seat. I'm flabbergasted. I hit the light, I keep hitting it, and then I hit the other button, and it calls the little lady, the stewardess. And I didn't mean to, so I tried to turn that off, and only they can turn it off. So she comes over, and she's like, can I help you? And I go, I hit it on accident. I'm trying to turn my light on. I don't think my light works. She goes, oh, okay, no problem. And she doesn't even care about my light. She turns it off, and she goes away. So I reach down again, and I fucking push the button, and push the wrong button. I call the stewardess again. This time she ignores me because she knows. So I keep hitting my light, and it won't turn on. And meanwhile, fucking Direct Line to Jesus will not stop furiously crossing herself. So I look at her and I go, I'm trying to, I don't want to interrupt her crossing. She's doing all that. I don't want to talk to her. So I try my light again. And it's funny, I hit the light and in my head, you know what happened? In my head, I immediately went, no. But my light won't work. She's crossing herself. She got a handkerchief on her fucking head. And I said, fuck it. You know what? I'm not even going to talk to her. I reached in front of her. I reached all the way across her body, and I turned her light on. I said, fuck it. I don't care. She thinks I'm a fucking monster. I'm going to act like a goddamn monster. Your light is my light. I steal your light. She's used to that from the village. All she knows is after 12 hours, the sun god disappears. He is stolen by the night god. So at this point, I am the fucking night god, and I'm turning on the sun god. Fuck you, I'm stealing it from you. So sure enough, I steal the sun from her, and I turn it on, and she looks at me, and I point the light at me. And she just crosses herself until she fucking finally nods off, kind of like leans back, and she's fucking snoring, like weird, like gurgles out of her mouth, horrible. And then, of course, as you know, I read about 3 chapters of my book and then decided I didn't want to read because I'm listening to music and trying to read at the same fucking time. And I go, fuck it, I'll just listen to music. So I sat there in the dark, stared straight ahead. Like I would have anyway. $28 to Albert Brooks. Good. I'm good for him. I'm glad to contribute it to him, but I read 3 chapters of his book and it was great. It was a great 3 chapters. But finally I just said, I went to sleep. I grabbed some sleep. And we were arriving in New York at 8 o'clock in the morning. So We taxi out. Plane's fine. Plane lands perfectly. And I will tell you this, as we're coming in, I'm looking forward to the flight. The best part, I've flown in New York one other time in my life. And the best part is the approach when you see the skyline. And I flew when there were still Twin Towers. So, I mean, it was just fucking amazing. And you just see the city, and it's overwhelming. Look, I'm from Chicago, and I'm very, parochial, and fucking Chicago skyline's amazing. And when you go to Oak Street Beach, and you turn around, and there's the fucking skyline right across the street, it's so fucking cool. And I've been to San Francisco. I liked their skyline, and just recently Philadelphia was nice. I'm just something about a city. I love it, but when you see it approaching, like I said, Chicago skyline, awesome. I'm sorry. The Chicago skyline would fit into 1/4 of the New York skyline. It's fucking amazing. We're pulling in. I'm staring at it. I loved it the first time I ever flew in, so I was really looking forward to it this time. I got my eyes closed. I kept and I always tell you this, I kept my shade closed the entire time because I wanted to unveil it. I'm an idiot. It was like, yay, happy birthday, New York. Somebody's birthday. So we come in on the plane, and that we start the descent, and they start with the stewardesses prepare for landing, and I'm like, fuck this, and I fucking slide the shade up to look at the skyline, and there's a swamp. And when I say a swamp, I should say there's a lot of swamp. I mean, like it looked like the Everglades. I mean, it's just this marsh. Like it's like kind of puddles of water and grass. And then we pull in, there's like rich people houses and boats and shit. And I'm like, where the fuck is the sky? There's no skyline. Where the fuck is the skyline? I refuse to believe that everybody on the left-hand side of the plane could see the skyline, and all I had was a goddamn swamp. It made no sense. But sure enough, I look on the other side of the plane, they all have their shades up and they're looking out. And unless they're doing the same thing that I'm wondering if I flew in to LaGuardia the last time and that was a better view of the city. And JFK doesn't have the same view. I have no idea, because I'll tell you what, JFK does not have the same view. I was so excited. I kept the shade closed. I was really thrilled. And then I opened it up and I watched us plummet into a goddamn swamp. That was it. I thought we were actually landing in my seatmate's village. That's where I thought we were. Devoid of life, just fucking, fruit flies and puddles. It was awful. So I didn't even get to see the fucking skyline. I'm like, really? That blows. Fine, whatever. So we land, and I'm like, that's fine. We get out in the airport, JFK, beautiful airport, huge airport. And I should tell you this, everybody told me that I should just take cabs. Even David, the guy who produced the show, he's like, dude, just fucking take cabs. It's the best way to go. But in my head, I'm like, well, it's $65 each way, cab-wise. It's $1.30. I said, yeah, I'll take a cab. That'll be fine. So then I get into the airport, and I don't know why this happened. I get my luggage. And I get a bug in my, where I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to rent a car. Because I checked my hotel, and it's $40 a night to store the car. I'm only there Thursday night, Friday night. That's $80. That's one of the cab rides. I mean, that's ridiculous. Why would I pay the cab when I could go ahead and store the goddamn car? So, all I can do, I rent the car. It's $80 to store it, and then whatever it costs for the car, and then the gas. Who cares? It's perfect. Everything's within a mile of my hotel, like where I'm staying. The theater's within a mile, and other places. So I said, great. I'm just gonna rent a car. I'm not even gonna take a cab. I'm gonna fucking rent a car. So I go to the little phones. They have the telephones, and I call up and I pick up, and I got budget on the phone, and I said, hey, I'm just I'm at JFK. I'm wondering if you have cars. Yeah, we have plenty of cars, absolutely. I said, oh, great. I said, they said, are you a Rapid Res member? No. And they asked what kind of car I wanted. I said, well, I wanted a full size. They go, oh, I'm sorry, we only have economy left. I said, well, that's fine because it'll save me on gas. Or like, okay, just economy. I'm picking it up now, and I'll be returning it Saturday morning. They go, great. And I hear them clacking away. And she says, you know what? I can get you an economy. It's $478. $478 was the quote. And stunned. I was like, what? She goes, yeah, it's $478, but it's only an economy, but you'll be okay. I'm like, dude, no. And in my head, I'm like, how the fuck is it that? It makes no sense. And especially because I'm literally going to drive to the city, put it in storage, and then take cabs to the theater, or, you know what I mean? It makes no sense. There's no parking. And so in my head, I go, this is stupid. Why the fuck are you even on the phone with these people? I'm like, thank you for your time. It's okay. I'll take a cab. Click. I hang up really fast just in case it was a verbal contract. I'm like, no, I'm hanging up. So I'm going to take a fucking cab. So I walk outside to the cab stand, and there's only like 6 people in there. It's great. and it's a roulette thing where they call the cabs, you get whoever comes up, and I wanted one of the big cabs, like those big, like an SUV cab. I was please. But as I'm moving up, finally I get to the front. The guy's like, where are you going? I said, I'm going to 51st and 7th. And he's like, all right, or 7th at 51st. If you're from New York, don't yell at me. I just know where I was going. Because everybody told me, they said, hey, make sure you sound like you know where you're going, because otherwise they'll fuck you in the cabs. Which made me laugh, because, I mean, how do you sound like you know where you're going? But I tried. I don't think I didn't try. And it's a set rate from the airport anyway. So cab pulls up, and guy hops out to help me. And he's like a tiny, he's not tiny, normal sized guy, but he's also a Filipino guy. And he gets out. He's like, hello. He's really soft spoken. And I said, hey. And he goes to grab my bag. He goes, where are you going? And I said, oh, we're going to the Manhattan Hotel in Times Square. I said, it's at 51st and 7th. He's like, okay. And he puts my bag in the trunk, and I take I have my computer up front with me. Everything's packed away, and I get in, and there's seatbelts in the back. So I'm like, I'm not going to fucking wear a seatbelt. It's ridiculous. So he gets in, and he starts, he punches the meter. It's $45, and then, whatever, you got to figure it out. And it's a nice cab. There's air in the back. It didn't stink. It was, it was really nice. So he's in the front seat, and he looks in the rearview mirror, and I catch his eyes, and he looks at me, and he goes, ready? What do you mean ready? I mean, I'm in the cab, and I go, yeah, I'm ready. And he goes, okay. He puts his foot to the fucking floor. The floor. And takes off. He goes from 0 to 60 in 2 hiccups. Because he forced hiccups out of my body with the sheer jump off the line. Immediately in my head, I'm like, well, I hope to God. He put my bag in the trunk. I didn't see a parachute. But I'm hoping one deploys soon. He floors it, to the fucking floor, and we're gathering speed. There's G-forces. It feels like my face is going backwards. I'm pressed into the seat. This is not a joke. This is not a fucking joke. I'm pressed into the fucking seat. And I'm holding, I actually instinctively grab my computer, and I'm holding it. And he starts zigging and zagging out of lanes without turn signal. No, I hear no turn signal. I hear no. He just starts fucking, and he's coasting. He's actually kind of floating. It seems like we're floating. And I'm like, hey, fucking slow the land speeder down, Luke. The Ewoks are getting car sick in the back seat. I mean, he is all over the place. We're gonna start fucking shooting womp rats. I mean, honestly, he's in a hovercraft, and he's floating, and he's zigging and zagging out of lanes, and he's fucking flying, and I'm pressed back into the seat, and he's driving fast, and he's kind of cutting angles, and people stop, and he's moving around them. And folks, we're not out of the fucking airport yet. We're not even out of the airport, and he's flying. I mean, he is goddamn flying. He figures he wants. Remember, I always joke about the plane actually driving. I'm worried about the cab actually flying to my fucking hotel. So he starts fucking rolling, and he's jumping lanes, and he's moving around and shit. And I finally, it takes about 5 minutes of this where in my head I go, I probably need to wear a seatbelt. I should put on a goddamn seatbelt. No wonder there's fucking seatbelts in the back seat. So I grab it, and I fucking buckle myself in, and I'm holding on, and he's driving. He gets onto the freeway, and look, I can't even tell you. I wish I could lend authenticity to this story by giving you numbers. I got no fucking idea what freeways he jumped on. He's on the 4, the 8. Who fucking knows? The signs are a blur. Everything's a blur to me at this point because I'm in the fucking cab and he's driving. He's got to be 2-footing it because the only time he hits the brake, it's so abrupt. There's no way because it doesn't even feel like we stopped driving. Like he just hits the brake and continues to drive. It's like there's a great scene. All right, there's a chase scene in the movie To Live and Die in L.A. where William L. Peterson is driving, and he's driving the wrong way on the fucking freeway, and he's 2-footing it, like, and you hear just that noise in his head, and they keep showing him, like, kind of smirking, and in the back seat, there's his partner who's fucking ready to lose his mind. That's me, all right? I'm fucking William L. Peterson's partner in To Live and Die in L.A., and I'm squirming in the back seat as we're hopping. Here's what he's doing. He's on the fucking highway, and then he drives onto the shoulder of the fucking highway. He's driving on the shoulder, and he drives onto the off-ramp, and he takes that off-ramp, and he goes straight and races the highway to the next off-ramp, and then he gets back on the highway. He's basically saving 4 car lengths, but he's still ready to. We're gonna die. He's saving car lengths, but we're gonna fucking die, and I can't handle it, man. In retrospect, when I look at it, I should realize I'm in the presence of greatness. This is the greatest cab driver who's ever lived. He knows every route. He's willing to go just as fast. I'm barely braking, never hitting it, just kind of getting off the off-ramp and driving, hopping every yellow, taking some reds and racing the freeway and then getting back on and bumping and moving. And he never hit anybody. I can't understand how he didn't fucking hit anybody. He came so close. And I'm actually watching every bumper, every fucking curve, whenever he changes lanes. People have to abruptly hit their brakes and honk. He never honked. Never used his fucking horn once. Everybody else is honking. He's not using his fucking horn at all. If you don't see him coming, fuck you. So he's driving, he's hustling, he's humping, and he's bumping. And finally, folks, I start getting sick. Because I have like a motion thing. So I actually had to close my eyes. I close my eyes in the back seat and hope it ends. Like I'm wishing it away. I'm like the lady on the fucking plane who's going, no, no to me. I'm in the cab going, no, 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 no. And I open my eyes and I'll tell you this, I don't even want to, I don't want to even look through the windshield because I don't want to see what he sees. But I look on the little plexiglass thing in front of me and all I see his little badge, like with his name. His name is Willie. A name has been given to my pain. Willie. And in my head, I'm like, how can that's not a Willie. This guy's not driving like a fucking Willie. Willie wouldn't drive like this. Willie would drive safe. But all I could think now is like, oh, Willie, no, Willie, no. But he's driving, he's humping, he's moving, he's jumping fucking lanes. And I'm like, God damn it, Willie, what are you doing? So finally we get into the tunnel. Okay? Which is the tunnel. Well, no, don't. The tunnel's the only place he drove like safe. There's nowhere else for him to fucking go. Unless he can somehow drive on the side of the tunnel and pass people, I'm safe. We get into the tunnel, I kind of fucking relax. I'm still a little nauseous, but I'm still trying to hold on. My eyes are closed, but I open them in the tunnel to kind of peek. And whenever I open them, though, all I can see is directly in front of me now because I hadn't noticed it before. All I saw was just Jimmy Kimmel talking to me from the cab and the Zagat Survey and the fucking weather. But now, every time I open my eyes, all I see is his fucking demon face, Willie. That's all I see. Willie and I think it was Cavrone or just a string of there had to be a ting or something in there because I fucking he's driving and I'm like, oh, I wanted to put my head through the little like plexiglass and look at him, but I pictured he'd have like a pitchfork and horns. Like I'm like, fuck, I can't do that. It's like John Candy in fucking Planes, Trains. I'm like, no way, I'm not dealing with this. So we're driving in the tunnel. I'm trying to just fucking, we're going and moving. And again, in the tunnel, he's driving really fast. He's tailgating the fuck out of everybody, but he has to stop when everybody else stops and he's pissed. You can hear him like kind of exhaling and breathing, but that's the only time I heard noise from him. He didn't yell. He didn't honk. He's a fucking driving robot. And again, the greatest taxi driver who ever lived, but I can't deal with it at this point because I'm sick to my stomach and trying not to fucking die in the back seat. So we emerge from the tunnel and then we're in Manhattan. And now, fuck, he's got free reign to do whatever the fuck he wants. Now he's on crowded streets and everybody's honking and moving in cabs and trucks and he's cutting people off and he's turning right in front of them. He's turning left from the center lane. And I close my eyes again, man. I can't handle it. I can't. I close my eyes. My eyes are closed and I hear people yelling and screaming and people are pushing their horn. We're not. We're just driving smoothly. Not smoothly. Smoothly is a weird word. But I got my eyes closed in the back seat and finally I open my eyes just in time to see a bike messenger spit on the windshield. Because Willie took a yellow/red light and turned left and went too wide and cut off the bike messenger in his bike lane. And the bike messenger's screaming. And I open my eyes and he spits a huge loogie on the fucking windshield. Willie doesn't say fuck you. Willie doesn't honk. Willie's single-minded of purpose, man. He is just fucking driving. He is one with the car. He is the goddamn Terminator of driving. I'm surprised he was sent here to drive me to the hotel and kill Sarah Connor. In that order. Maybe that's why he's in such a goddamn hurry. As soon as he drops me off, Sarah Connor is fucked. So he's driving, and then he goes to make a turn, and a cab cuts him off and won't let him over where my hotel is, so he has to go up and around, and he humps it, and he moves. And again, I got my eyes closed, and I see it. I'm trying to find street line numbers, so I find out if we're close. And finally, he makes a left and a left. It's one way, and then a right and a left, and he pulls up, and he goes, "We are here." And I'm in the back seat. I go, "Man, Willie, you don't fuck around, do you?" And he goes, "What, sir?" And I go, "You're fucking serious, huh?" And he goes, "We are here." And he gets out and he pops the trunk. And I'm in the back seat. I'm trying to recover. Like, I can't. I'm trying to peel myself out of the fucking Mike Schmidt-shaped space that has now been wedged into the goddamn seat. You know what? It looks like a muffin tin and you just baked a me. his seat looks like a muffin tin, and you just baked a me in the back seat. Because I had to extract myself, and my hands hurt, my fists hurt from gripping my computer. I was holding it so hard, and I'm groggy, and I feel like we're still moving. Like I feel like I that weird thing where you're kind of walking, but you feel like you're still in air. You're kind of floating. You're not sure of yourself. Tentative. It's what a child must feel like. Those tentative steps, and I get out of the cab. And also, I tell you what, I understand now why like every starlet flashes their vagina at the paparazzi, because they're groggy after being driven around all the time by some maniac driver. They don't know enough to cover up their gupper because they're just fucking safe and sound and they're happy about it. So I turn around to climb out of the cab, and I climb out, and I'm wobbly. I'm like woozy. And he's got all my luggage stacked up, and he comes over to me. He's like, "Okay, sir." I had to pay too. I paid in the car, credit card. I gave him his tip, and I get out of the car. And he gets my stuff out. He walks over and he goes, "Okay, sir." And and I swear to God, this is true. He comes up to me, and he's like, "Okay, sir." He stacks my luggage up, and I fucking hugged him. Instinctively, I couldn't. I don't know why. He didn't go for one. It was like I literally just. I don't know if it was trying to keep myself up or what the fuck. It was like I was so happy we had survived together. And I was safe. He's like, he comes up in front of me, goes, "Okay, sir," and I just bury him in a hug, just like both arms around him. I'm like, "Thanks, Willie." I'm squeezing him. He's got to be like, "What the fuck is going on?" And I let him go, and I'm just kind of fucking shaky. And he's like, "Okay, sir, thank you," and he fucking hops in the car, drives off. I'm caught in the exhaust. The flame burned my pants. I'm just fucking. He actually shot to the moon on his way to kill Sarah Connor. And I'm standing outside of the hotel, and I barely know which end is up, man. I'm like, oh, fuck. So I grab my bag. I got my computer, all my stuff. And I make it up the little red carpet. There's a little door guy. "Hello, sir." "Hi." And there's a revolving door. I am not getting in the fucking revolving door. I just drove in a revolving car. I am not getting in a fucking revolving door. But I just feel awful, and I'm just weirded out. And I open the door and I let myself in, and I feel it. I'm sick, and I'm getting sicker by the second. And I get into the lobby, and right when I get into the lobby, it's at that point that I know what's going to happen. And I get by the bell desk, and the bell captain comes over and he goes, "Hey, sir, you checking in?" I go, "Do you have a restroom?" And he goes, "Well, we have one in the," and I go, "Never mind." And I turn around, and I vomited in a trash can right next to the bell captain's desk. And the thing is, I hadn't eaten anything. Like, I threw up all like water because I was drinking water, trying to keep myself calm in the back of the cab. I should have mentioned that. And but I just threw up water and air and exhaust, like and fear. I vomited fear into this thing. And I just tell you, look, we're in a hotel in Times Square at 8:15 in the morning. No, fucking 9:15. It's 9:15 in the morning. It's full. Lobby's full of people. And the funniest part is they all just saw me hug a cab driver. Like they just fucking, they're wondering, what the fuck was that idiot doing outside? Oh, he's coming in. Very good. Oh no, oh my God, what's happening? Because I walked in, I'm like, "You got a restroom?" "Well, we have one." "Oh, never mind." And I immediately just turned around and I fucking vomited water into a garbage can right next to the bell captain's desk. And I got a few heaves out of me, and I'm like retching, literally like dry. And I stand up. And thankfully, again, it was just water in it. There's no mess. And I stand up, and the guy looks at me, and he goes, "Are you all right?" I said, I think I am now. And he's like, "Okay. Are you checking in?" I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "You leave your bags here, sir. I'll watch them. You're okay. Go check in." So I go to check in. Check-in's at 3 o'clock. I'm there at 9 a.m. And everybody's looking at me. Everybody in the lobby, the people. And it's New York. There's people from Bulgaria here to sell soup to the 99-cent store people. There's foreigners from many lands. And maybe they're used to people throwing up in hotel lobbies in Europe. I don't know. But I am getting the stink eye from some Americans in their fucking I Love New York t-shirts. It's fucking brutal. So I go to check in, and the desk clerk's like, "Sir, are you okay? Do you need help?" "No, I'm fine. It was just, crazy ride." So I go to check in, and he does not have a room for me. The rooms are not clean. He goes, do me a favor, if you stay in the lobby here, we will lock up your luggage, but stay in the lobby and you'll be fine. And I said, all right. So it was about 9 o'clock. And I went, there was a computer center, and I walked over, and everybody's in the computer center, and they're looking at me, and there's some comfortable leather chairs. So I sit down in a leather chair to wait. And I pull up my phone to read my Twitters and maybe tweet about being in New York, and I'm getting no reception in the lobby. So I'm like, oh, what a drag. So I put my phone in my pocket, and I've got my computer in my lap, and I just sit there and I wait. And it's about 9 o'clock. And so I close my eyes for a second, and I fall asleep. Out. Because, again, I didn't sleep much on the plane. And I just vomited my life into a garbage can. My entire life force, my entire essence has been removed from me by Willie and his Leadfoot, which, by the way, is a blues band that I would recommend you see the second they come to your town. Willie and his Leadfoots. So I'm sitting in a leather chair in the lobby. I've thrown up. I fall asleep. And I sleep. Like, I can sleep anywhere. As I've mentioned, man, I go out like a fucking light. I wake up periodically because there's movement around me. And I actually had, I'll tell you, well, fuck, you don't want to hear my dream? You don't even want to hear this story. I'm going to tell you a dream. How fucking horrible would this show be? I spent 20 minutes telling you about stories I couldn't tell you, yet I'm going to tell you about a shitty dream I had in a hotel lobby? You guys deserve your money back. So I got the computer in my lap. I'm sitting there. I'm sleeping. And the thing is, whenever I would wake up, I would hear people like walking around, and I could hear people. They would actually. I've heard a few people just go, "Is that the guy who threw up earlier? Is he like employees?" And I don't dare open my eyes because I know if I open my eyes, they're going to be holding a mirror under my nose to see if somehow I've passed away dead in the lobby. Next thing you know, I open my eyes and there's fucking Christopher Maloney and fucking Mariska Hargitay. So I stay asleep, and I sleep, and I wake up periodically, but I keep sleeping, and I don't look, and I wake up, and I'm like, God, I got to get up. And I look at my watch. It's noon. 12:15 to be exact. I slept 3 hours sitting in a hotel lobby, and nobody questioned me. New York is amazing. How do you not question me? I'm asleep for 3 hours. They might have just thought I was like a weird animal. I walked in, I threw up, and then I immediately went to sleep. It's like, maybe they're used to that. That's what, you know what? I lived the life of a hobo in New York in the first fucking 3 hours I was there. I walked into a building, I threw up, and I went to sleep for 3 hours in a chair. Boom. I now qualify for homeless benefits in fucking New York. So I wake up at 12:15. I approach the desk, and they're like, "Oh, are you okay, sir?" "Yes, I'm fine." So they check me in. I was going to go to the Yankee game, and I go upstairs to my room, and it's 12:30, and I'm like, "Well, the game's at 1. I'm tired. I shouldn't go." And then I actually caught my eye in the mirror. I saw myself in the mirror, and I went, "Hey, go to the fucking baseball game. That's why you came to town a day early, so you could see some of New York. Go to the game, ride the sun, dude, have fun." So I made myself do it. I actually made myself not be an old man who just threw up and slept in a lobby. And I grabbed my stuff, and I'm like, all right, let's go. So I went down, and I had already known what subway to take. I hopped on the subway with my Yankee tickets, got to Yankee Stadium. It was fucking amazing. The game was great. The food in Yankee Stadium. All right, I'll tell you this story real fast. I get to Yankee Stadium. I have to, because Subway lets off right there at the Bronx. You walk upstairs, and there's Yankee fucking Stadium. It's amazing. And I was starving. I was so starving because I don't know if I mentioned I had thrown up every part of me and left it in the lobby of the fucking hotel. So the second I walk into the park, there's a hot dog stand. I'm like, that's what I'm gonna have, a fucking New York hot dog right here. So it was special dogs. It was like fancy hot dogs. I don't know what the fuck. It was just hot dogs. I just wanted a hot dog. So I walk up and I go, "First time, what do I want?" This guy goes, "You need to have a Queen's dog." The guy behind the counter. There's 3 people there. There's a woman and a man and then this big guy who's kind of running the show. The other woman and the old man, they don't have any idea what the fuck is going on, because once I say, all right, I go, what is it? He goes, "It's a Queen's dog. You'll love it." I go, "Great. Give me a Queen's dog." It's fucking Queens, right? Could have had a Brooklyn dog, a Bronx dog. Fuck it. I go Queen's dog. So as he's bagging it up and he's trying to make it, he turns around and he grabs, all right, I should tell you this, behind him, you ever see, like, you know what a rotisserie is? They have that little fucking hot dog death compartment in 7-Eleven? All right, and then sometimes you ever see like a bun carousel where buns are on a carousel? Well, they don't have that. They have, and behind him, he has bread, like ciabatta bread, and it's on skewers, and it's all in a storage thing. There's a bunch of them back there. And he grabs one, takes it off the skewer, and what it is, it's a whole piece of, it's a ciabatta bread, but with a hole drilled all the way through the center. Like it looks like if you had a croissant and you were going to fill it with chocolate, and you had that hole in the center. That's what it's like. So he grabs the ciabatta bread, and I don't pay attention. I look at the menu to see what I'm getting. Queen's dog is a hot dog on ciabatta bread with tzatziki sauce, which is, if you don't know what that is, it's the cucumber sauce that comes on a gyro. I love it. I will get it on the side for my fries. I love tzatziki sauce. So I'm like, a hot dog with tzatziki sauce sounds fucking crazy, but that's when in Queens. So he grabs the ciabatta and he hands it to the old man, and the old man just kind of looks at him and he's like, oh, you got it. I realize he's training these two. So you got to put the sauce in the side. So they take the fucking ciabatta bread, okay, and they take a like a caulking gun filled with tzatziki sauce, and they shoot it into the center of the ciabatta bread. So they fill the ciabatta bread with tzatziki sauce. Then they scoop out a hot dog and they hammer it in like a Christ nail. They just bang it right into the center of the fucking ciabatta bread and the tzatziki sauce. So then it looks like a big pig in a blanket is what it looks like, okay? So I look at the menu and I see Queen's dog tzatziki. It's $8, okay? So that's fine. So then the old man is just holding it in a box. He doesn't hand it to me. He doesn't say it's ready. He doesn't say thank you. And then the woman is standing there, and I look at the woman, and the other guy who's running the show comes over to the woman. He goes, ring him up. And she goes, what is it? He's like, a Queen's dog. And she unbelievably just starts punching buttons, like to the point where I thought she was trying to spell Queens like on a phone pad. And he's like, no, you got to turn the key and sign in. So she had to enter a number. That's what it was. She has to enter her personal number, but the key wasn't turned. And then she rings the Queen's dog, $8. I pay her. And the other old man comes over and he hands it to me. And I open it up. And as bad as it looked behind the counter, in my hand now, it looks fucking terrible. And I've only been in the park 5 minutes, but I'm starving. So I grab the Queen's dog and I pick it up and I'm like, well, come on, it's tzatziki sauce, it's a hot dog, but it looked bad, folks. It looked, all right, look, on the end, it's got a long pink thing poking out of it, surrounded by white oozing out around it. Normally, if I saw something like that in the real world, I would turn a hose on it so it didn't fuck the other dog. But I look at it, and in my head, all I can think is $8. $8. You're in New York. Come on. Live a little. Have a Queen's dog. So I tap in the dog. I bang in the pink thing a little bit so I have some room to bite because it looks way too obscene if I just put the whole pink thing in my mouth. I bang it in a little bit, and I take a big bite. I bite it, and it goes into my mouth, and like tzatziki sauce and pink hot dog and ciabatta bread. And let me tell you something, folks. I love tzatziki sauce. One of the things I really love about it, I love cucumber. I love tzatziki sauce. It's flavorful. I love putting a hot fry into ice-cold tzatziki sauce. You know what I don't enjoy? Hot tzatziki sauce. It's warm. They warmed it up before dude, it's like sour cream based. Don't fucking heat it up. What the fuck are you doing? I bite it. It fills my mouth with this warm ooze. And then the hot dog is like, it doesn't have any real flavor because it's like, it's buried by the tzatziki and the bread. I take like 3 bites of it, and it's a good thing I threw up that morning. Not a sentence I've used a lot in my life, but certainly appropriate here. It's a good thing I threw up that morning because I immediately found a garbage can and spit it out. Like I couldn't even eat it. I fucking spit it out. And I was just going to chuck it. And then in my head, I go, well, fuck, it's $8. See if you can get a different one. I turn around. This is not a lie. I turn around. The booth is empty. The workers are gone. The sign is like folded down. Almost as if it was a ruse. Like it was a trick that New York plays on new guys to try to see if they'll eat warm tzatziki and ciabatta bread around a fucking hot dog so they can laugh about it and tell their friends later as they're throwing away their clandestine aprons. Nobody's there, so I can't even return it. I fucking threw it out. I threw away an $8 fucking... I just threw it in the garbage, man. And then I hustled around because I'm like, I got to put something New York in my mouth to get this fucking taste out of my mouth. So, and I start running around for anything New York to put in my mouth. I'm looking. And the thing is, fucking Yankee Stadium, gorgeous. Sightlines, beautiful. Amazing atmosphere. The fans. A Wednesday day game, and these fans are fucking... Or a Thursday day game, and these fans are into it like it's a goddamn World Series game. They were cheering. It was so great. But food, for shit. For shit. I go up and down the concourse looking for anything that says New York, like a Shake Shack, anything that would be fucking perfect, and it's all just generic hot dogs and same stuff. But I will tell you, they sell every different kind of food. They had sushi rolls for $16. They had a pulled pork sandwich like at a barbecue stand, and it's like some famous barbecue guy in New York. And I'm like, I didn't fly to fucking New York to have barbecue. What the fuck? Where's a knish? Where's anything? I'll have something like that. So finally, I find a Nathan's, and I order a Nathan's dog. And then they're like, hey, do you want sauerkraut or red onions on it? And look, we've been to Papaya King. I've been with Lily and I've been with Karen, and those fucking red onions, you can shove them up your ass. I like a raw white onion or a caramelized onion. Your red onions, fuck that. And I go, no. I said, I'll have white onions. We don't have them. Great. So I wound up eating a fucking plain Nathan's dog in 2 bites just to get the taste of warm tzatziki out of my mouth. Watched the game. It was great. And as I'm sitting there, I took some pictures. I Twittered some pictures from the park. It was fantastic. I wish, it would have been nice to have somebody there to hang with, but I don't care. I could fucking live with it. I'm walking around. And as I'm sitting there, I'm thinking about the show. I'm thinking about whatever, because, again, I got nobody to talk to. And it dawns on me, and for some reason, I don't know why, when I packed my bag in my head, I'm like, I remember I said I forgot my book. And I'm like, I wonder if I forgot anything else. So I'm thinking carefully about everything that I packed. And it dawns on me. I go, you know what? I don't think I packed a belt. And look, it's very important Fatty has a belt. All right, you guys know that. So, I should tell you, well, I'll tell you this in a second. So I sure enough, I found out I did not pack my belt. So on the way home, but again, it's fucking New York. I Googled where I was. I Googled Fat Guy Store. I found a Fat Guy Store within fucking 4 blocks of where I was. Fucking took the subway, rolled in, and I'll tell you this, I walked into the belt store, and they had, it was not a belt store. What if it was? I was going to dinner that night. A listener to the show, Dave, and his girlfriend, Erin, wrote me when I was in L.A., and they're like, hey, do you want to go out to dinner on Thursday night? And I wrote him back, brace yourself. Yes. I'm in. I'm tired of sitting in my hotel and fucking doing nothing. Yes, I would love to go. And he wrote me back. He's like, fucking great. And he's like, there's great restaurants, and it's New York. He's anything that you want to do. And I mentioned Mario Batali's Babbo and a few other places. He's like, you'll never get a reservation there. It takes 30 days. And he gave me a list of places. And then he wrote me, and he's like, hey, how about, you ever heard of David Chang? He has a restaurant called Ma Pesh that's right by your room. And David Chang is amazing. I follow him on Twitter. I'm a huge fan, and I've read all about him, and I never thought I would ever get into one of his restaurants. So I wrote Dave, and I'm like, dude, yes, absolutely. I didn't even think David Chang would work. He's like, great, we have a Ma Pesh tomorrow night at 8:30. Perfect. So I know I got to get a belt. I have to get a belt to go to Ma Pesh. I don't want David Chang to come out and go, hey, unbelted fatty, go back to Los Angeles. So sure enough, I go to the Fat Guy store. I walk in, I'm looking for a belt, and they had these belts. I picked them up. One of them's an Emmanuel Zegna. And I'm wearing sweatpants. I should tell you this, because I traveled and I went right to the park. So I'm trying a belt with sweatpants. I look like a homeless man, just a fucking homeless man. And even worse, I'll tell you this. I've been losing weight, as I mentioned, which is great. But New York is not. New York is the weirdest town, because it's a great town to be fat in, but it is a town that you cannot be fat in at all. It's a great town to be fat in, because as I'm walking, everybody's selling food. I mean, there's like food carts, fucking hot dogs and pretzels and knishes, and I passed 4 falafel trucks. Do you know how hard it is for me to walk past 1 falafel truck, folks? I walked past 4. Holy God, I love falafel. And you smell it. It's fucking amazing. But I just, I knew I was going to dinner at a fancy, nice place. And also, I'm on my way to buy a belt. The last thing I want to do is walk into the Fat Guy store holding a falafel. Fucking tahini sauce running down my arm. Hey, you got any belts? Chomp, chomp, fat. So I had to fucking take the high road and walk past everything, and I get into the Fat Guy store. So I pick up the Emmanuel Zegna, but I'm wearing sweatpants, and I'm hot. I'm sweating at the ballpark. I'm wearing traveling clothes. My hair is all fucking crazy, and now I'm trying on a belt with no loops. I have no pants on. I'm trying like sweatpants. It looked like I was trying on a hula hoop. That's all it looked like. So I put on the belt, the Zegna, and I'm struggling. No fucking salesman is approaching me, because they think I'm a crazy person who just wandered in from the fucking street, because I'm putting on a belt and no pants. And finally, I find one that fits of the Zegna. I'm holding it. Then I look over. I see some other belts. There's a Ralph Lauren. And again, as much as I hated paying for a book, I am furious that I have to pay for a belt, because at my house, 3 belts hanging right there in the closet. But I need a fucking belt. So I look, and I pick up the Ralph Lauren. The Zegna doesn't have a price tag. I pick up the Ralph Lauren. It's $65. Great. So I'm comparing that with the Zegna, and I try them both on. Again, finally, they get the brave inclination to approach me. Sir, can we help you? I said, I'm just looking for a belt. I'm traveling. I left one back in Los Angeles, so I need a belt. And he goes, well, what's your price range? I said, I told you, I own 3 belts. This is literally like a 1-night belt or a 2-night belt. I want, and he goes, you do not want that one then. And he points at the Xania. And I go, why? And he comes over to the thing and he goes, that's $350. I said, I don't know who Emmanuel Xania is, but if he was here, I would hit him with this fucking belt. I mean, I guess it's important to keep fat guys fat in, but Jesus Christ, Xania, you're being a little presumptuous at $350. So all of a sudden, 65 looks cheap. So I buy the belt. I fucking make my way into the street. I go back to the hotel. I take a shower. Fucking great. I tell you this, man. Philadelphia and New York, these hotels understand about like showers and water pressure. It's great because everywhere else you go, it's this fucking West Coast. We're saving water. East Coast, fuck the world. Great shower in my fucking hotel. I get ready for the thing. You know, Dave texts me. He's like, "Hey man, we're picking you up." I met him down in the lobby. We walked to Ma Pesh, and I will tell you this. Oh, so I get out of the shower and I'm ready to get dressed. I'm getting ready, and I forgot a book. I forgot my belt, and so I get out of the shower. I get dressed, and I forgot my brush. Anything beginning with B, I left in Los Angeles. So, as you know, when I go out of town, the live show, it's always a weird, like, is he going to have product in his hair? Is he not? He's freaked out about his hair. What's he going to do? I've been wearing a hat to keep it, like, straight. So I'm like, motherfucker, I no brush. What the fuck am I going to do without a brush? So I can't do anything about it that night because I got out of the shower. They're going to be in the lobby at 8:10. I'm like, all right, I get dressed. I look at my hair and I go, you know what? Just try something. So I dry it as much as I can dry it with no hair dryer, just a towel. And I put product in my hand. And I fucking wipe it up, and I just push my hair back with my hands. Because normally what I do is I coat my hair with the product, and then I brush it really flat like Pat Riley, and then I, let it fall where it may. Well, this time, you guys don't care about how I do my hair. Nobody cares, but I tell you anyway. This time I put all through my hair, and then I just took my hands and I pushed my hair back. And I go downstairs. There's David and Aaron. They're really nice. We go out to Ma Pesh, we walk, and we were getting, it's fun. It's odd. It's an odd dynamic 'cause they don't know, I don't know them, but they sort of know me. So, but they were very friendly and really cool. And we start walking, we get to Ma Pesh and we look at the menu and it's amazing food. I mean, it's like, we avoided the $68 pork chop. But we ordered a bunch of stuff to share. Erin was a vegetarian, and she was real nice. She ordered like bean salad. I mean, and everything we ordered was fantastic. Fantastic. There was a fried chicken and watermelon salad with a beer foam. That was so good. And dude, it was. I can't even explain to you. That was delicious. We got crispy pig's head, which is essentially like, jowls and stuff like that, but they fry it into like a square and they sesame bread it and they chop it. And it's, so delicious. So no, fuck that. Pork is pork. It's awesome. God damn it. And it's David Chang. I don't give a fuck if you said, I'm making Mike Schmidt anus. Done. Serve it up. How early do I need to be there for prep? And how much are you going to charge me on the back end? Honestly, I don't care. Let's do this. I could cut my fingernail trimmings off and David Chang could make a soup out of it and I'd say it's the best fucking thing I ever ate in my life. So we're eating, we get through a couple of courses and we're eating. The waiters are great. Everybody's we're fucking shoveling it in and we get done with dinner and then they bring us dessert. They brought us a dessert, or we were going to order dessert. And they had a thing called a crack pie, which he's known for. It's like the densest pecan pie with an oat crust. And this is not a joke. I had to use, like I was lifting weights. I had to use work to get my fork through the pie. That's how fucking dense it is. It's like a delicious doorstop. It was fucking unbelievable. So before we're going to order it, I go, you know what? I'm going to use the restroom. So I excuse myself. I go to the restroom and I catch a look of myself in the mirror. My hair looks fucking amazing. Oh my God, did it look great. Because I had told them too, I go, fuck, I don't have a brush. I'm all weirded out about my hair. I talked about it, I'm sure, way too much during fucking dinner. And I come out of the bathroom and I sit down and I go, let's call off the dogs because I look fucking amazing. They're like, what? I go, my hair looks great. And Aaron's like, oh, really? And I'm like, yep, it looks awesome. And we ordered dessert to split. I'm surprised it's not comped because my hair looks so great. We got crack pie, and then they had some other desserts. They had a chocolate Thai basil curry, which sounded interesting. But, dude, English peas and strawberries. And I go, listen, I don't care what we order. I know we have to get crack pie, but we're getting English peas and strawberries. Anything fresh, I will eat. Anything fresh at all. So they bring us this dessert. Dude, it's macerated strawberries with like pea puree, puddles of pea puree, with a crumbled, crunchy pea cake over it, and cylinders of cream cheese with fresh mint and herbs. Dude, I'm eating it. This is the greatest thing of all time. The greatest thing ever that I've put into my mouth. It made me fuck warm tzatziki. Warm tzatziki was the memory of it was obliterated. You're lucky I remember the story. English peas and strawberries fucking destroyed even the memory of warm tzatziki. And I don't know if the desserts just tasted better because I knew how good I looked. I have no idea. But goddamn, they were fantastic. And then they bring the check over, and I go to reach for the check, and David grabs it. And I go, all right, well, we're going to go half and half on this? He goes, no, don't be ridiculous. I go, dude, don't. Come on, you don't need to do that. He goes, I asked you out to dinner. I'm paying for dinner. It's fine. And I go, David, come on. And I was going to argue with him. I was going to, but you don't do that. You just have some class, and if something, you say thank you and bow out. But I felt weird still because, I don't come to town, so people will do things like that. But during dinner, we had talked, and David was great. He's a corporate attorney, and it turns out he's leaving private practice. And he's going to become a special assistant to the Attorney General. That's what he has his eyes on now in New York. And his girlfriend owns her own business in Brooklyn. And we had talked all about her business. And it's funny because she has a business. And having a business is a lot like having a podcast, except she makes money and is successful. Because she has to deal with the slings and arrows of the general public on the internet as well. So we were talking about Yelp and things like that. So, again, he's an attorney. She's got her own business. And 12 hours earlier, I had vomited in a hotel lobby. So I decided I would go ahead and let them pay for dinner. Why not? My decision was made up. All of my protestations were at the bottom of a garbage can in a lobby on 7th and 51st. So then we left. We left Mapesh, and I was going to go back to my hotel again because that's me. But David and Aaron were very nice, and they said, hey, do you want to walk Times Square? You want to walk around New York? And I said, yes, of course I do, because I thought I was going to do that Friday during the day. I had anticipated that I'd be out walking around. And again, as I've mentioned many times when I went to San Francisco and when I was finally down in Center City, Philadelphia, I love the vibe of a city, being downtown. But this isn't just a city. This is the city. It's where you have to be, and it was fucking amazing. So we walked through Times Square and just you looked at it was hell. Don't get me wrong, it's complete hell. It's nothing but bad caricatures and fucking guys. It's like Venice Beach without the ocean. But was still the same fucking riffraff on the boardwalk. But it didn't matter, man. It's fucking Times Square. We walked down. It looked amazing. Doubled back, went over here and looked. And then here's something that drove me crazy. It's midnight. All right, it's like 5 after 12. And as we're walking, there are guys with sandwich boards going, comedy show tonight. Who wants tickets to a comedy show tonight? Because that's how they do it there. It's very different. They run, shows run till 2 in the fucking morning. You can go see anybody at any time. And those guys are all comics because they're trying to hustle tickets so they can get better spots on the bill. But I can't imagine anything worse than having to go up at 1 in the morning for a crowd from Times Square who got tricked into buying tickets to that show. They would hate you so fucking much. But it just made me laugh. These guys were hustling. They were trying fucking hard. We walked past Caroline's. We were up and down all over the place. Popped into Duane Reade, got some water, said some goodbyes, and everybody was very nice. And I went upstairs to my room to ponder Friday. And I get up Friday, and like I said, I was going to go walk around the city. I didn't know what I was going to do, and because I was trying to live like a human being. I'll tell you this, because normally I have this upside down schedule. When I get to the city, I don't want to live like that because I hate cutting, especially when performance time, I have to be at the theater at 6. I hate cutting my entire day in half. That's just terrible. I wanted to get up, so I wanted to make sure I went to bed because I hadn't slept much anyway, except for in the fucking lobby. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'll get some sleep. I'll go to bed like a normal person. So I went to bed early for me. I went to bed at 4:30. And then I woke up at noon, and I'm like, oh, that's not bad. And it was cold in my room, and I was under the warm covers, and the curtains were closed, so it was completely pitch black dark. And I'll just grab 15 more minutes. And then I woke up at 2:30. So it's okay. I needed 10 hours of sleep because I hadn't slept. But I was mad because I wanted to get up and kind of go over the list of what I was going to talk about because, hey, you know all that stuff I talked about previously? Yeah, I figured I would talk about it on stage there. And then also go over the show itself because I have to know what I'm going to talk about there. So I finally get ready. I start to get ready to go down and get a cab. I get showered and dressed. I'm getting ready for the show. I'm excited. I go downstairs to take a cab. It was 5:30. I had to be at the theater for Tech at 6. And it's about a little over half a mile from my hotel. Twists and turns and stuff. Why are you making a face?
That might not happen at 5 o'clock on a Friday.
Look, I don't know this. I get down there at 5:30, and in the front there's one other party waiting for a cab. I apologize. There's 2 parties waiting for a cab. What's funny? Come on. There's 2 parties waiting for a cab. Well, the thing is, your attitude is the attitude that the door guy had. Here's the thing. I go downstairs. There's 2 people. There's one person, a single person waiting, and then there's a family. And they're all waiting for cabs. And then I get behind them, so I'm third in line. And the guy's out in the street in his outfit, and he's blowing the whistle trying to get a cab, and cabs are just sailing by. And he actually comes over to us to address us. He goes, look, it's 5:30. It's really hard to get a cab right now. And if you want to take the subway, you should. And it just seems so weird to me that in New York, it's hard to get a cab. I mean, literally, that's all you see are fucking cabs. That's it. That's all that's driving. But it's hard to get a fucking cab. Those cabs have people in them. Obviously, they were able to find a cab. But so I stood there. I'm like, oh, well, you know what? I can't hump it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sweat. I'm going to do a fucking show. All right. And it was funny when I was in San Francisco, I had my bodyguard, Lily Von Stupp, with me. And she's like, relax, just you concentrate. I'll take care of everything. So I would be down there just like freaking out about the show. And she's going to get cabs, talking to guys, arranging things. We're moving up the line. She's like, relax, it's okay. She'd get in the car. She'd tell them where we were going. Everything was fine. But now I'm lost. Again, I got a note pinned to my shirt. Take him to this theater. So I'm waiting. And finally the woman in the front gets a cab. So then there's only the family ahead of me. And another 10 minutes goes by as they're waiting. He's hailing cabs. And there's 2 more families with suitcases. And the guy says, do you guys want to wait for a cab? It's going a while. Or we have a driver here for the hotel. Where are you guys going? And they were going to the airport. He goes, he'll take you to the airport. It's a set fee. It's, whatever. I forget what it was, $70. It was $70 to take him. And they were like, okay. Well, they were smart. So they went and they got right in with him. And because it's, it's what, $10 more or $20 more? Who cares? So they hop in the nice town car and they go off. So a woman comes out of the hotel and she stands behind me and she's waiting. And she starts talking on her cell phone. And immediately I go, fuck. If I was in L.A. and I heard this woman start talking at a restaurant, I'd be like, Fran Drescher is here at this restaurant. But in New York, all that means is there's a woman behind me. Okay? In L.A., you're like, oh, my God, Fran Drescher's here. In L.A., you're just like, in New York, there's a woman here. So she's talking, and the only thing she doesn't do is laugh. She's talking into her phone, and this is fucking unbelievable. She's like, I can't do a New York accent, unless it's an angry one for my neighbor. But so finally, then a cab slows down, and the cabbie looks, and the guy, the cab person, says to him, he goes, where are they going? He has an off-duty sign up, but there's nobody in his cab. He goes, they're going to JFK, and he goes, no, and he drives off. Like, what are you, her brother? What the fuck is this? So, he says, no, he won't take him. Off duty, 3 people off duty stopped, but they wouldn't go to the airport. And I'm pissed because I'm behind those people. It's like, get the fuck out of my way, motherfuckers. I can go somewhere. So finally, those people also decide to take a town car. They take the next one, so I'm next. And we're waiting again for the cab. Another 10 minutes goes by. It's now about 10 to 6. And the woman behind me starts yelling, these fucking guys, unbelievable. They're supposed to take you. And I go, well, they had off-duty signs on. They all have fucking off-duty signs on. She's yelling at me. I'm standing there, and she goes, where are you going? I said, right up to 44th. She goes, that's only 6 blocks. You should walk. And I go, nah, I'm fine. Because, again, I'm not going to say I have a show. I can't sweat because I'm precious. I just nod. I go, yeah, probably. She goes, there's short blocks. Really, you should walk. You should just walk. This is fucking crazy. We're going to wait forever for a fucking cab. And the guy's still hailing. He's blowing his whistle. And I'm standing there, and she's Fran Dreschering in my fucking ear. She's talking. And I'm a little frustrated because there's no cab and there's no town car. And I got to get there. And now I'm starting to panic because Lily's not there to calm me down and do all the fucking hard work. So I've got to get my own cab. And I'm freaking out a little bit. And I know I got to be there at 6. And now it's about 8 to 6 and maybe 7 to 6. And she's jabbering in my fucking ear. She's like, really? It's short blocks. You should just walk. You got wheels on your luggage. You could just pull it and you'll be fine. Go ahead. Just, you know what? Just why would you sit here and wait for a fucking cab? You could go ahead and walk. It's just right up the street. You just go up there. And I turn around and I go, I'm not fucking walking. right in her face.
Awesome.
That overdrive, we got to do that again.
Oh, I think we're gonna be great.
You sure? I mean, I'll do it. I'll back off from the mic.
I think it's awesome.
I don't want it to be crazy loud for people. You want to double check it?
Oh, we'll be fine.
All right, folks, I apologize, but I needed to convey to you the rage I felt in that moment, because she's in my ear and I'm freaking out and I'm weirded out, and I literally turn around. She's fucking 3 inches from my face. I'm not fucking walking. Right in her face, and she shrinks, and she steps back because I don't get mad. I'm trying not to get mad anymore, folks. You know that about me. I don't want to be mad, but I couldn't. I was just freaked out trying to get a cab. So I turn around and the cab guy's like looking at me like with his eyes wide, and he starts blowing the whistle even more furiously. And it was great because I had been there for. It dawned on me right now at that moment. I was in fucking New York. That was my moment of New York clarity. I'm surprised the mayor didn't shake my hand and then rent me a broom closet to live in. So eventually he gets me a cab. It only takes like 2 more minutes, shockingly. I don't know if his furious hand-waving did it, but this guy, I hop in, tell him where I'm going. He's great. And he's not quite Willie, but he's not fucking around. He's cutting, he's zooming, he's zigging around. And again, at this point, I'm welcoming it because I'm fucking late. And I'm in a hustle. I'm in a hurry. I want to get everywhere. That was the whole point. When I got him with Willie, it was like, I could not wait to get to the fucking city. Let's do it. And then he called my bluff. So now I'm trying to get to the fucking theater. We're trying to go to Hell's Kitchen, the 44th, and going around. And I will tell you this, then we get near the theater, and he pulls up and he goes, oh, the theater is a one-way street. You need to get out here and walk, or I could go around and bring you. I go, go around and bring me. I'm not fucking humping this shit through the fucking neighborhood. I don't know where I'm going. Drop me right at the door. So he's very nice. He goes up and he brings me around. He made an extra, 60 cents. I tipped him an extra couple of bucks. And I get off there at the Producers Club, head up to the Crown Theater. And like I said, remember I said it's a place to be. You can get fat there, but you don't want to be fat there. You can get fat because there's food stands everywhere. I had to walk past again. There's fucking, and regular people with soubrette carts and selling fucking dogs and pretzels and fucking every food you could imagine. But, then you finish your street food, and then every building you walk into has at least 40 stairs. It's fucking crazy. Like, I mean, as fat as you were, you're going to walk that motherfucking falafel off up the goddamn flight of stairs. So it's not a good town to be fat. In the subway, there's like 9 flights of fucking stairs. I'm running up 2 at a time. By the time I get to the top, I'm like, Jesus Christ, that was a workout. So I get to the theater, and again, huge, big staircase. I walk up to the top. And I get pointed to the back. I walk in, and it was a perfect theater for me. It's exactly what I wanted. It's a little black box. It's got about 60 seats. It's exactly what I wanted. And I walk in. I meet David Williams, who's the reason I did this entire show. I mean, he suggested it. He wanted me to come to New York. He made it happen. So I meet David, and I meet his assistant Janine, and she's there to help me out. And she's like she's Road Lily. It was pretty amazing. She's like, "What do you need? What do you got? What should I do?" And she's looking around for stuff. It was so fantastic. She's helping me out. David had brought Propel, and he had it on ice. He asked me, he's like, "Anything you need?" I go, "I if you can get Propel, because I don't know where to buy it." And I said, "I prefer it cold, but I don't mind it room temperature." I go, "That's the only weird rider-ish thing that I have." And I walked in, and there was a cooler of Propel on ice. I go in the green room, set up my stuff. We run tech, and there's a little bit of an issue with the music and stuff, but it's fine. And I say to him, I'm like, I'm there. Show starts at 7:30, and I put till 11 on the ticket. And I asked him, and I go, "You know what?" I go, "We have the room all night, right?" David said, "Yeah." I said, "All right, good, because I'm in here for shirts, and it's a whirlwind. You meet people, so even if it'll probably end around 10. But it would be nice." And I said till 11 just in case, but we might be here past 11. In Philly, we were in here in like another hour and a half. He's like, "No problem." So we run tech. I go in the green room. I go, "Look, I got to learn some jokes." I go in the back. David's like, "Hey, anything you need?" I go, "I need you to watch the show and tell me how it is. I need to hear, from a director and a writer what he thinks." And I also tell people that in the show, when you watch it, I want your feedback. I want to hear how you felt about it. I want to know what you think was effective and what wasn't effective. You know what I mean? And I might fucking listen to you. I might not. Who knows? But I'm interested to hear what people have to say, because again, the thing's it's in progress. So I'm in the green room. I'm waiting, and finally 7 o'clock comes, and we're opening doors. So I tell him I micromanage to the fucking nth degree. I tell him what the last song that should play is on the overhead music, because I'm in the back, and I go, I don't want to text. I don't want anything like that. When I hear that song, I want to know that that's my 5 minutes, and then you can end it, and then I'll come on stage and introduce me. So, and you want to know the best part of it? You want to know the absolute best part of it? David said, "Okay." There was no beef. There was no, well, we'll test it. We'll see what happens. None of that bullshit. David wanted it to work. And actually, 2 days before, David had asked me for the cues. So I actually emailed him the music cues. So he had them down when I got there. And then when I was in the green room to learn some jokes, he goes, well, look, I'm going to go learn this sheet and figure. So I have it, backwards and forwards. Let's do it. So 7 o'clock comes and I was going to go in the use the restroom. So he's going to open doors. And I turn and we open this theater door and I walk out and there's 2 young guys right by the door. And I go, hey, how are you? And this guy goes, Mike, Vinny.
Holy shit.
And I go, oh, hey, Vinny. And he turns around and there's a guy standing next to him. And that guy puts his hand out and goes, I'm Vinny's choosy friend. I go, oh, are we good? And he goes, it was great. And Vinny goes, he listened to the show today and it's what made him come. I said, good, as long as we're fine. So I shook their hands and I walked and I turned the corner and other people started coming in. I saw Sarah J from Philadelphia. She was around the corner. And like I said, I'm so dumb. I put my hand out to shake hands, idiot. And Noreen, who's been very nice. She turned the corner to walk in and I saw everybody and then I, did my business, walked in and go to the green room and waiting for the show. And David's in the back. He's running the music. And I hear this music end. And it's ready for the show. And it was fucking professional. He's like, gave him a cell phone announcement, introduced me. I got on stage. Everybody was very nice. And the show was fucking outstanding. It was so great. Everybody was really friendly and nice. I told them about New York and Willie and all that kind of stuff. And everybody was really cool. And it was one thing that happened. Some people came in late and they sat in the front row. And of course I talked to them because I can't let anything go. I have to notice everything. So I finished with them and I'm talking and telling a few stories. And a guy came in late. And I go, hey, how you doing? Because they have to walk right by me to get in. And he walked in and there was one seat left in the front row. And I go, and I had just told these people, why'd you sit in the front row? You don't want to sit in the front row. Sit in the back, please. It's like, seriously, you don't want to be here, whatever. And those 2 people. So then he walks in like 5 minutes later and he goes to walk past me. I go, how you doing? A little late. It's no problem. Don't worry. I go, if you want a seat, there's one right here in the front row. And he goes to sit down and I go, no! Because I did not want him in the front row. Like I was just being stupid. And he sat down, and it legitimately like bummed me. I'm like, no! And I fucking made myself laugh because I was just like, because it was like I saw a mouse. Like it was the weirdest yell. No! Horrified. And I go, no, sit in the back. And he just got up and he went into the back. He skulked away. And I'm like, no, sit with the chair. I don't care, whatever. But people laughed at me because I'm so dumb. You know what I mean? Just, no! And it was great. So then I talked about New York and everything, and I did the show. And I will tell you this, there was a weird phenomenon in New York, all right? The show is about my family and about, stories I've told here on the podcast, along with a couple of things I've never mentioned on the podcast. And I was telling a story about, I don't want to give anything away for the live show. If you're coming, you'll see it. But it's stories that I've told on here before. And it involves a lot of mischief and rage and anger. And which, by the way, that was the working title of the show, Mischief, Rage, and Anger. So I started telling people stuff, and I could sense, like, not tense, but they felt bad for me because of what I went through as a kid. But I didn't really go through anything as a kid. We've all had our lives, and we've all lived the way we have, and everyone has stories. Just mine are different. You know what I mean? And because I know people with stories just like mine, you know what I mean? And they wouldn't blink. And some that are much, much, much worse. But I could sense, but also here's the thing. This is on me. All right. This is where I'm learning to be a performer. And I tell this because I actually got a little, I actually stopped, not to stop the show, but in the show I addressed it. I said, you don't have to feel bad for me. I go, I lived and I came through it. I'm here. My life is fine. Everything's okay. And we're all enjoying it together. Fine. Is that okay? And but in my head, I was like, fuck, I got to shake them out of this. So I stepped it up. Like I knew in my head, I go, you got to step it up and get out of the comfort zone of just pretending that they all are with you and make them be with you. And I felt like I had chops. Like for the first time on stage in a long time, I really felt like I controlled the place. And because I've done the shows and told the stories, and everybody's been great. Portland, Seattle, every crowd has been great. But for some reason in New York, I felt I was losing them. So I made them come back, and I made it. I worked. instead of doing what I do and being on autopilot, and this is all performer bullshit that maybe you don't want a window into, but I really felt like I was like, oh man, I'm this isn't going the way I want it. I need to make an actual change and make it go the way I want it to, not just hope. As a comic, that was my problem. When I did stand up, I did my act and I hoped people liked it. And if they didn't, well, that was a tough night. But this was one of the first times where I went, you know what, fuck this. I have to make them change and bring this to them in a way that they will appreciate. And I did, and they responded. You guys responded in New York. It was fucking amazing. And from about the midway point, it was knock 'em fucking dead. It was fantastic. And by the way, I should say this. This is not on you, the crowd. This is on me as a performer, because I'm a comic. I'm used to people laughing. So when I tell a room a story and it gets tense, I get, even in my own skin, I get like, because I'm used to working for laughs. So I have to recognize that this is a theater piece as well as a comedy show. So I've gotten a million laughs. So if you guys are going to feel uncomfortable with the story, I need to be okay with that, because it is an uncomfortable story. I mean, I'm punching everybody in the fucking world. Of course, I need to stand down and realize that maybe some people are going to go, ooh, that's a little rough. You know what I mean? And because it is essentially also a theater piece in addition to being a comedy piece. And also people might just be smiling or whatever. They've heard the stories before. Maybe they recognize it. I don't know. Again, that's in my fucking head. I'm used to getting laughs. I'm used to getting a response. That would explain why my producer is sitting here next to me. Because, if I mouthed this and just tried to tell fucking stories into the ether, I have no idea if I'd get out of it alive. So that's all. So that's what I tell you. It wasn't on you. It was on me as a performer. So I'm learning. We're all learning together on the fly. Of course, it cost you $20 to learn. Wow. I apologize. That's an expensive lesson for you folks. It cost me a plane ticket, but that's fine. I made it back. So I'm doing the show. It's fucking fantastic. And like I said, right around about a third of the way in, I felt it picked up, and I was like really rolling with it. You guys were with me. I was with you. Everything seemed to be great. And show started about 7:45. I should tell you that. We waited for a few latecomers and waited because we opened the door a little late. And I'm rolling, and right about 10 after 10, I'm on stage talking, and I'm at the end I'm in the final story. There's one final story to my show, and I'm telling it, and I'm about, I would say, a third of the way in to this story, and I'm talking, and the door opens. I should tell you the setup. I'm on stage, and all of the people are in front of me. To stage left, which is the audience's right, that's where the entrance is for the theater. So as I'm talking, I hear the door, and it opens up, and all light comes in because it's a black box theater, which means there's no light except for the spotlights. Well, when this person opens the door, I figured somebody went to the restroom, but I thought everybody was back because I was kind of, I had waited till everybody came back from the, from going to the restroom. Door opens. It's like 10 after 10, I said, and guy walks in, and I'm talking. I'm on stage, and he goes, "Hey," and I turn around and look at him, and I go, "Yeah," and he goes, "Man, there's another show in here at 10:30, so your show's done." And I said, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "There's another show. They're out here in the lobby. They're waiting to come in. They have a show at 10:30, so they have to do their tech and set up. Your show is finished. You had until 10 o'clock. You're done." I go, "That's wrong." I said, "I have until 11 o'clock at least." And then I was told there's not another show in here. And I'm on stage, mind you. The crowd is in the audience. I'm on stage in the middle of a story, and I have a microphone in my hand. And this guy comes in and he tells me that I'm done. And I speak into the microphone. I go, no, you're wrong. I said, I have this room till at least 11. And then after that, there's nobody coming anyway. I was assured that we have the room all night. And he goes, "That's wrong. I don't know who told you that. Your people got it wrong. You're wrong, and you're done. So you need to pack up. You're finished." And again, I've still got 25 minutes left in my show, like for the final story. And that's the story that people haven't heard. So the crowd is sitting there with kind of a gape. And I go, "All right, well, I'm almost done. I'm wrapping it up." And he goes, "All right, wrap it up." And he walks out. I turn around and look at the audience, and I just go, I get a feeling this is going to get bad. So I start trying to talk and tell the story again. I get maybe a minute out, door opens again, and it's two guys. And they poke their head in, and they look, and then they close the door. So now I'm going to be interrupted constantly when I'm trying to tell a story. And I look at the crowd and I go, "All right, I'm going to try to get through this." I go, "I don't even know if I should thumbnail it or how to do it. I have no idea. I don't want to cheat you guys." And I looked at David in the back of the room. I go, "David, I have the room all night, right?" And he goes, "I was told that, yes." I said, "Okay." I said, "Maybe you can straighten them out, or I don't know." And as we're talking, a door opens and four guys try to walk in to the room. So I have the microphone. I walk over to the stage, to the door where they are, and I stop them. I go, "What are you doing?" They go, "We're coming in." I go, why are you coming in? They go, to watch your show. And look, I've been in comedy clubs a million times. I'm used to heckling assholes who get cute and they try to be, you're not fooling me. So they go, to watch your show. I go, really? So you've been here all night? And the guy goes, yeah. I go, no, you haven't. If you want to come in and watch the end of it, that's fine. But I am going to get to the end of it if people stop fucking coming in and out of the door. He goes, fine. So I let 4 dudes in and I close the door and there's a deadbolt and I lock it. I click the deadbolt closed and I walk back on stage and I look at everybody and these fucking guys they sit in the aisle, wherever the fuck, because they weren't originally in there. They're from The Late Show and they're being pricks. So, but again, they're not really being pricks. They think they have the room at 10:30. Okay. It's not me against them. But at that point, I'm on stage and I don't fucking care because I have been trained to cut people's heads off if they fucking interrupt me. Trained. Yeah. I went to Comedy Ninja School. I've been trained. So sure enough, I lock the deadbolt and I walk over to the front of the stage and I address the crowd and I go, listen to me. I go, like I said, I've got about 25 minutes left. I just locked that door. If there's a great white situation where all of a sudden everything bursts into flames, there's an exit in the back there and there's an exit by my green room. I will be happy to escort you out. And the crowd was very great. They laughed and they're with me. But even I'm getting fucking mad. All right. I'm getting fucking swelling. And it's funny. The whole show I'm talking about being angry and rageful and how I'm trying to stop being that guy. They're seeing that guy come to life before their very eyes on the stage. So I start to talk. I maybe talk a minute. As I keep trying to reset the story, we hear jingling keys. And the deadbolt opens. And the same first guy who came in a white polo and shorts comes in and goes, hey, that's not funny that you locked the door. I go, well, it's not fucking funny that you keep coming into the room. And he goes, I told you, you're done. I go, I was told I had the room all night. He goes, I don't know who told you that. Your people messed up, but you don't. You need to get out now. And it's fucking tense. And I turn around, and there's a hallway full of people trying to get in for the Late Show. And I look at my crowd, and I look at Dave, and I go, guys, I'll be honest with you, I'm lost. I go, I don't know what to do here. And the crowd, someone in the crowd, I don't know who started it, but as a crowd, they go, dude, finish it in the lounge. And I go, what? They go, yeah. And they start clapping. And they go, yeah, we'll finish it in the lounge. I go, what do you mean? They go, there's a lounge right in the front where like everybody waits to be seated. Fucking come out there. We'll finish. And people are telling me from the crowd, they're like, let's go. We'll go out there now and make sure we get it. You come out and finish this show. And the whole crowd, as a group, decided, fuck that. We're taking over the lounge. And I mean, I haven't been in the lounge. I don't know. I didn't even know what the fuck it was. I walked right into my theater. So I go, all right. I go, I'll see you guys in the lounge. And David turned the house lights up. The crowd got up and started to drift out. And I went back into the green room, and I'm fucking trying not to put my hand through a mirror. I'm so fucking mad because I felt I had them. Like I said, I had won them back. I had grabbed them and made them go where I wanted them to go, and now this guy's making them go into the lounge. My crowd has been usurped, and I'm fucking pissed. And although it was the crowd's idea, still all the momentum has been broken. I'm like, what the fuck is going? I'm so mad because the last story of the show is, it's the culmination of the show. So I'm fucking pissed in the green room, and I'm steaming, and I'm trying not to fucking lose my temper, and I'm bagging up my stuff because I'm just trying to get out of there because now these other guys are taking over the green room. And they come in the green room, and it's the guys who said they wanted to see my show. They're the actors for the Late Show. And I turn around and I look at them, and I go, guys, I'm really sorry. I wasn't mad at them because, again, it wasn't their fault. And they go, we're really sorry, too. We didn't know. We kept coming in. We didn't know. We thought you were just kind of stealing. I go, look, I was told I had the room all night. They go, we're really sorry. And they go, we genuinely did want to come in and watch the end of your show. We really did. And I'm like, all right. I shake their hands. They're nice. I walk out into the room. I got my fucking, bag of T-shirts like an idiot. And I go into the theater and I apologize to their crowd. I go, I did not mean to leave you guys sitting in a lobby. I did not mean to leave you in a hallway. I was told I had the room all night. I'm really sorry. And they were, because they had seen me at my worst at the door, just going, nah, you're not fucking coming in, like to everybody. And now I apologize. And they were very nice. Everybody, I shook hands. I apologized and I left. I walked out and about 10 minutes has gone by. So I walk out in the hallway. There's like a theater locked and I turn the zigzag and I go, where's the lounge? This woman points. So it's by the front of the house. I walk in, and everybody goes, yeah! And my whole crowd has filled the lounge. It's standing room. There's nowhere to sit. There's stools, but mainly everybody's standing. And there's no microphone. But there's a stage. There's a little recessed stage that's raised and elevated. So I'm above the crowd. People can see me. So I walk up these 5 steps, and the guy who was coming in and telling me I was finished is the bartender in the lounge. So I come in, and people who were in the lounge fucking leave because this whole group came in and took it over, basically. And I walk in, and I go up on the stage, and people are in the crowd. Nobody left. They're standing on the floor, and then they're sitting on the stage around me. They came up because there's seats on the stage, and they're sitting at my side and at my feet and at the foot of the stage. They're all around me, and everybody's standing out in the actual bar. And there's a bar, and it's serving people from the other show who come in and want a drink, but these people from the lounge want me to finish my show in the bar. So I get on stage, and I go, all right. And everybody starts clapping. They cheer, and I drink some Propel, and I look out. And again, I have no microphone. There's no spotlight. There's a big projection screen that I'm standing in front of, and for some reason, it's solid blue. So I look like, Mike Schmidt from Avatar telling you a story. I'm one of the Na'vi, and I'm about to relate to you a broken story. That makes sense. The Na'vi are broken people. I have a broken story. So I look out at the crowd, and everybody's there, and it was intense. I tell you what, as good as I felt in the other room, to walk in and see that nobody had left, and they were with me, and they were backing me up, and they were sitting around me, and they couldn't wait to experience it, I felt a million times better. And I don't shrink, motherfucker. You know what? You can do whatever you want with me. I do not fucking shrink. So I got no microphone. I got no fucking spotlight. I got a cash bar where people are walking in and paying, and I don't give a fuck. I stand up there, and I go, all right, when last we left our heroes... And everybody laughs, and then I was off and fucking running, and with no microphone. And I worked the room, I worked the people next to me, people behind me, and as I'm talking, all of a sudden, the bartender calls up, he goes, Mike, he knows my name now, and he wants to talk. Hey, Mike, do you want music for this? Do you need it? No, motherfucker, I'm telling a story, all right? I am telling, and I go, no, dude, I'm cool. I got it from here. Sell drinks. And I did have it from there, man. And he backed down. He was loud because when people would order drinks, he had to shout over me. He was making himself known. But he's running the fucking place. He's the captain of the ship. What the fuck? Who cares? And I told my story, motherfucker. And it was awesome. It was fucking awesome. I tore it up. And people were with me, and they were involved with the story. Huge laughs, paying attention, everything that I could have wanted from that crowd. You guys, again, it wasn't me because I was ready to lose my mind, and you guys made it happen. They practically carried me out into the lounge and put me on the stage and made me finish. And he kept, for some reason, this motherfucker, he kept changing like the lights that were on me. The blue turned to white. And I guess someone told me I had a copyright over my face, like a Warner Brothers symbol. What the fuck? But he kept doing everything he could to derail it. And that motherfucker could not derail it. Not so much because of me. All right. Hey, look, I'm fucking powerful. I'm not going to lie to you guys, but because of you, because of the people in New York, they wouldn't let it fucking happen. They could have been distracted. They could have had chit chat. They could have drank, but everybody sat there riveted and gave me their full attention and made it work for me. And it's funny, the end of the show is dependent on music cues. I have music cues all throughout the show, but they're mainly a way for me to get something to drink and dry my fucking sweat off. But the end of the show relates to lyrics of a song. So I finished the main story, and I got a huge round of applause. It was so great. Everybody was cool. And then I explained to them, I go, look, normally there would be a music cue here. And what we would need then is you would hear the lyrics, and I started to explain it, and the fucking bartender goes, do you want me to play a DVD or something? And I go, I got it. And he goes, no, I have a thing here. And he starts, all of a sudden there's static. He turns on like a fucking music player. And I wanted to kill him. I really wanted to crucify him. But I just sat there and let him play with his knobs for a while. And then he finished and he goes, I don't have a DVD player. I go, I think that's for the best. Idiot who keeps injecting himself in my fucking show. But I verbally explained what the music cues were. And then I did the end of the show and it closed and thunderous fucking applause. Everybody was amazing. It was the best. The crowd, I'm telling you, every time I go, I say the show could not be better. But But the best part in New York was, like I said, everybody stayed. The show is called Success is Not an Option. And it's all about a show about how everything fucks up for me and I can't get out of my own way. And then you saw it come to life. You actually saw me get mad. You actually saw the shitty stuff that happens to me. And because, again, I get my balls busted. Oh, that story, he could turn anything into a story, and who knows if it's true. Everybody knows it's true. Literally, I just wanted to shrug and go, see? Do you think I'm lying, motherfucker? This is what happens. This happens. Sure enough, I fly across the country, and they try to interrupt my fucking show. But you know what? A lesser guy would have let it happen, and a lesser crowd would have walked the fuck out, and you people did not. And you guys, I can't thank you enough, because it was fucking fantastic. And it was everybody, even afterwards, they're like, we got to see Schmidt life happen. We got to see the Hulk face. We got to see you mad. We got to see everything fucking happen, and then it turned out with a happy ending. We were so thrilled. And it's because of you guys. It wouldn't have been if it wasn't because of New York. If a crowd would have been like, because believe me, and this is how I know, all right, look, the show wound up, even with the, taking out the interruption and everything, show was 2 hours and 45 minutes. Okay, and that takes out the interruption. With the interruption, it was over 3 hours. But I'm telling you, I know I've got to change it. I know it's too long. I know these podcasts are too fucking long. Look down at your knob and you know it. I get it. I understand that. I have to fix it. I have to change it. But part of me wonders if it's not too fucking long, if after that amount of time and that interruption that you were so present in the fucking story and I still held your attention. Because look, if at the end of it, if when that guy had come in and said, you guys are done, if the crowd would have went, well, Mike, we've seen enough. Can we just meet you now and get a shirt and leave? Then I would think, you know what, fuck, I'm really indulgent and fucking up. So you guys, you know what, whenever you see a long podcast, whenever you see a long show, blame yourselves, motherfucker. Because New York made me think, yeah, you know what, this is what people want. They don't care. They're with me all the fucking way to the end. You would have got to switch rooms. Think about it. It's like if you had your iPod on right now and then the show ended, but it didn't end. I told you it was over, but you had to go across the street and use somebody else's iPod. That's what happened in New York. They got to see it happen for real. And they fucking stuck with me the whole way. God damn it, it was fantastic. So afterwards, I met everybody. And you know what? Liana came up from Philadelphia. I met Chris. I met Mark. I met Jared. I met Manny the mailman. And Carol. I met so many. Ty was there. Jesse, my buddy Jesse from the Daily News, showed up with Caroline. Dude, it was fucking fantastic. Everybody came out to the show. Everybody met me, and they were really nice and came up and said hello. Eric, there's Eric, get this. There's a man named Eric who teaches a creative writing. Or not, no, I'm sorry, a non-creative writing class. He told me it's for realism, for storytelling. And he waited patiently. He was very nice. And I went up to him because I knew he wanted to talk to me. He didn't approach me. And he goes, I want to tell you something. I teach a class, and I've used you in my curriculum. I actually use an episode of your show, and I have them listen to it as a way to tell a story. And I was like, dude, that's fucking amazing. And he goes, I took some notes from the show because you asked what feedback was, and I have some notes for you, so I'd like to give those to you. And I said, Eric, not tonight. I am so wiped out. And he's like, no, I'll email him, of course, absolutely. And he was very friendly and nice. I shook his hand. He was so cool. Everybody was so cool. I know I'm forgetting names. Faust was there, and he brought his buddy, Peter had never seen me, Vinny and his friend. I met everyone. Everyone was so cool and buying shirts, and I loved it. And afterwards, I went out. I grabbed something to eat. It was me and Sarah J. from Philadelphia went, along with David and his wife Kathleen, who produced the show. I'm waiting on his notes. I'm a little worried about it, quite frankly, because I will tell you, meeting David was odd because David doesn't betray, because David's a creative person and also a funny person, and so he doesn't. My magic doesn't work on him, like my little nonsense where he'll like, wow, I'm in wonder at you and your funniness. No, he's just as funny. So he'll trade. He'll go back and forth with me, which was fun. But at the same time, I want to go, dude, I'm here to impress you. Let me impress you. So we wound up going out, and it's funny. He has a play coming up in St. Louis that I'm going to mention to you guys in a couple of weeks. He's going to get me all the particulars, but if you guys are in St. Louis or anywhere near there, you need to see his new play that he wrote and directed. It's there for a month, I think. So once I get that square, I'll tell you. But I went out to dinner. We went to a place called Five Napkin Burger, and I was just decompressing again. I don't eat, I don't move. I just want to fucking hear other people talk. And we did. I got packed up. It was to the wee hours, and then I was in my hotel, getting ready to go back to the airport. And I packed. I went downstairs. And I have no idea how to get a cab in New York, especially at fucking, I have to be at the airport, my 6:30 flight. So I got to get there by 4:30 or 5. And I don't know how to get a cab at 4 in the morning. If it's hard to get one at 5 in the afternoon. So I go downstairs and I ask the desk guy, I'm like, hey, I need to get a cab. He goes, sir, it's not a problem. We got a driver outside. He'll take you right to the airport. $70. I said, dude, that sounds ideal. Fucking ideal. Sit in a town car. Be a big shot. So I walk outside and I meet the driver. Nice guy, Sam from Peru. And I get in the car, make a quick stop, and I get all my luggage in there, and we're driving to the airport. And we're talking a little bit. I asked him about Peru, if it's hot. We're just, but I'm feeling like a star. Like, it was fucking amazing. It was so great. And I'm talking about Peru. I'm big. You like New York, and I love New York. And he's like, you like New York? I go, yeah. And he goes, you know what? Let me. What time's your flight? I said 6:30. He goes, let me show you a little of New York. And he did. He drove through some neighborhoods, and he took the long way to the airport rather than just shutting up and getting me somewhere. He goes and he started telling me about what we were looking at, and I saw the Brooklyn Bridge, and I saw all this different stuff, and I loved it. It was such a great ride out of town, and it was a perfect metaphor. You know what? When you look at it, both rides that I took were perfect metaphors for New York. Because when I showed up and I landed at the airport, I got in a cab with Willie, and he knew I could not wait to get into town. I think Willie fucking sensed that and fucking rocket sledded his way into goddamn town. No, you don't have to sit in this fucking car. You got to get to the hotel and get your fucking weekend started because it's New York, man. I couldn't wait to be there, and he knew I just wanted to get my New York experience started, so he did everything he fucking could to get it started as quickly as possible. And then I had my New York experience. And it was the best experience I've had on the road since. And Friday night was amazing. The show was amazing. Everything about Friday night was amazing. And I didn't want to leave. I felt like I wanted to stay there forever. And so I get in a car with Sam, and Sam's like, you know what? We don't have to leave just yet. Let's take a look at some of New York. And he knew that I wanted to stay. So he took me the long way, and he took me around. And it was something I can't describe. Again, I was in such a hurry in the beginning, and I wanted to slow everything down and experience every single moment. And thanks to Willie and Sam, I was able to do that on both ends of the trip to New York. And now you know the rest of the story. You guys can get me at MikeandMikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can find me at Facebook.com/the40-year-old-boy. You can follow me on Twitter.com/the40-year-old-boy. You can follow our friend Lily Von Stupp at Twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp, Twitter.com/MNTs. You can find her at Lily Von Stupp, Facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp. And if you want to write her a personal note and find out which joke in this show I almost took out, you can go ahead and write her at Lily at burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
Zazzle.com/40-year-old boy. Please buy all his stuff.
Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine. Lily's laughing because of her pointing skills. She's quite a pointer. And she's also quite a producer. She produces that show that I just mentioned, the Monday Night Teas at the 3 clubs. Hey, Lily Von Stupp.
Hey, Michael.
How was the show this week?
It was great.
Fantastic. And we got a show coming up this week because it is the summer of burlesque.
It is.
Winding down as it's getting darker sooner. As we know as we look outside the window right now, it is dark.
It's also 4 in the morning.
Hey, easy. It's not that late. So next week at the Summer of Burlesque, who's attending? Are you performing?
No, I am not. I performed last week.
Oh, good. I wish I would have been there. That's unfortunate. Yes, I do. I like seeing you take your clothes off. So who's there next week?
I have 2 people from Germany, and I feel terrible because I can't remember either of their names.
Hans and Franz?
Hans and Franz are performing from Germany. Eddie's hosting. Funny Eddie's hosting. I'm very excited about that.
Funny Eddie the Clown will be there.
Yes.
That's fantastic. And what does he do when he hosts? Does he do like the stuff he does for his kids' shows with the paper mache shit and that little? Does he bring that big display thing out?
Which big display thing?
The thing. Come on, it's the only big display thing he has.
Red Wolf Run?
Yeah.
No, that's for kids. He brings out the weasel.
Oh well. I think we all do after your show.
That didn't come out right.
No,
It's
it certainly did. Okay. Oh, he's got a psychic. All right. So make sure you come out to that. See Funny Eddie hosting, and a lot of hot Teutonic tit willows will be there. That sounds fantastic. And then there's, you said, what other country? Germany and where else?
I can't remember.
America.
Somebody else from out of town that I can't remember.
America. Someone from America will be there. Come out to the show and enjoy it. That's at 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine every Monday night. The Monday Night Teas at 10 o'clock p.m. That's fantastic. I want to remind you folks about Facebook.com because, again, I'm sure you've forgotten it. If you go to facebook.com/the40-year-old boy, you can be my friend on that page. You can also be friends with Lily Von Stupp, or also David Hernandez, who does all of the artwork and designs the cool stuff for the show and does all the music and all the other important stuff that makes it a show and not just a guy talking. Like I said, be my friend over there. And also on Facebook, there are plenty of pages for people who want to bring me to their towns. That are still in existence, still that are happening. Because right now I only have one live show scheduled, and that's in Denver, Colorado, the Dangerous Theater in Denver. And that's Friday, September 16th. That's a month from today. I will now start the hard sell for tickets. I will tell you that Denver tickets are actually moving. I'm pretty excited about that. So, but still, I can always sell more. That'd be fantastic. Come out and see me. And I have family coming to that show, or friends that I consider family, I should say. Because my friends are like my brothers, actually, because none of my other brothers want to talk to me. So my friends are my brothers. So that'll be fun. It'll be some guys you've all heard about. You'll meet them. They'll have a kissing booth. It'll be fantastic. So come on out to the show. That's at the Denver's Dangerous Theater. Success is Now an Option Tour. 40-year-old boy shows up there Friday, September 16th. I think the show's at 8 o'clock there, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure who's scheduled after me, but I look forward to them bursting into the theater and telling me to get the fuck off the stage. That's Denver. But right now there are other places that want me to come to town. Cleveland is still in play. Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Boston, Milwaukee, Indianapolis, Chicago, Minneapolis. These are all in play. I will tell you, I contacted 6 theaters in Indianapolis this week. I contacted 4 theaters in Minneapolis this week, and I contacted a couple theaters in Chicago. One Indianapolis theater got back to me and said no. One Chicago theater got back to me and sounds promising. Still a complete media blackout on Minneapolis. I can't explain it. But I'll get it squared away. That'll be fine. I have an idea. Like I said, I mentioned it last week. I will implement it this week. I have an idea for some of these cities that's going to go into effect next week, and let's hope people respond to that idea. I don't know if they will or they will not. I have no idea. We will see. But I want to do live stuff, man. I want to get out there. I'm having a good time. It seems like a lot of fun. Also, please remember that you can join the West Side 86 Jokers, which is the Mike Schmidt fan club. There will be a link on my Facebook page. Go ahead and click and join the club. And I will tell you this right now. I will be putting tonight. A couple people who went to New York reviewed my show. Really? One of them sent me a link to it, which is fantastic, and also explicit instructions not to share it with anybody. She was very nice. She said, do not say my name. Do not tell people where this is. I'm only sharing it with you, which is cool. Because, again, she was very complimentary. I wanted to use it like maybe in media materials. I mean, it was really that good that she liked it and was complimentary. I haven't written her back. I should tell you this real quick. I am woefully behind on email. I'm caught up on Twitter. I'm caught up on Facebook. Well, no, I got caught up, and then I go out of town. I've had 3 live shows this month, so that kills 2 whole days that I would usually use to answer email in the ass. So that's fine. Or 6 whole days because it's 3 shows. But the bottom line is she was very nice, and she wrote a nice blog. But I'm behind on email, so I will answer you if you've written me in email. I've answered in Facebook. I'm caught up in Facebook, I think, and I'm caught up in Twitter, but not in email. But so she reviewed the show and was nice, but you can't read it. But there was a gentleman who did review it and was very nice, and he said that I can share it with you folks. It is too long of a link for me to say here. I will tell you that it is timwbodine.wordpress.com. Okay? If you go there and then search, you'll be able to find he reviewed the Success is Not an Option show. It should be right on the front page, I think. Either way, the real link is too long, but it's timwbodine.wordpress.com. Go there and you'll be able to find the review of the show. I will include a link of it he put it on my Facebook page, but I'm going to put it on the Westside 86 Jokers page so it's easier to find, because on my Facebook wall, everything gets buried by every single mention that I make of a show. So go to the Westside 86 Jokers, sign up, become a fan. That would be great. There's no Dakota ring just yet. We're working on it. But go to the link and read what Tim had to say. It was very nice of him. It was nice meeting him, and I'm glad he reviewed the show. He was very cool. Also, remember to go to the MikeSchmidtComedy.com site. There's the Joe Business page, and you can click on the Zazzle store. Go ahead and get mugs and mouse pads that are available and will be in perpetuity, or until I get tired of it and yank them down. You can go to tweakedaudio.com/40, and you can go ahead and buy, they have Cockring watches. They have amazing earbuds. I'm using them right now as we speak. They sponsor the show. Go ahead and buy that. If you go there, if you don't go through the link of tweakedaudio.com/40, if you just go to tweakedaudio.com, use the promo code 40 when you buy anything from there, and then that supports the show, and we truly appreciate that very much. And also, while you're on the page, remember that we sell the downloads of previous years of the show. Year 1, Year 2, and Year 3 are available individually, or you can buy them together in the Lord of the Schmidt set, which includes the Fellowship of the Schmidt, The Two Schmitties, and Return of the Schmidt. So go ahead and buy those all together at once if you want, or get them individually. That's fine as well. And if you want to donate to the show, remember that in the upper left-hand corner of the MikeSchmidtComedy.com, every single page, there's a little Schmitty. Click on it, and you'll be able to make a donation. You can subscribe per month. You can go $2 per month, $5 per month, or $10 per month, or you can make a one-time donation. Those are welcome as well. And if you make a one-time donation, I will read you on the show. I will mention your name. I will talk about you, and I will say thank you to people like Sabrina V. This is Sabrina V's second donation to the show. Sabrina, we really appreciate that. My friend Angelo F. has donated to the show. Angelo F. is really cool. He donated to the show. He and I talk on Twitter like every Thursday. He's like the first person in the world to listen to the show, and then he writes me about it immediately on Twitter. He's very nice. So Angelo F. is there. Jennifer L. Also, Jennifer L. is one of the people. So we got Sabrina V, we've got Angelo F, we've got Jennifer L. And also, by the way, if you do make a donation to the show, make sure you send me a follow-up email if you'd like me to say your full name on the show. Some people just like a last initial, and I don't blame them. Like some people don't want me to mention their blog ever on the air, even though it's about me, which is fine. But there are people who say, hey, you know what, Mike, go ahead and say my full name. I want people to know that my full name was being used. People like James O'Connor. James O'Connor's second donation to the show, too, as a matter of fact. James O'Connor, thank you so very much. And also people like Kevin Penelrick. Kevin Penelrick. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Penelrick, it might be, but I'm thinking it's Penelrick. That's my guess. So Kevin Penelrick, James O'Connor, Jennifer L., Angelo F., Sabrina V., all donated to the show. Sabrina's second donation, and James also his second donation. Thank you so much for supporting the show. We do truly appreciate it. And anybody who does that, again, hit me back. And I should mention this. Folks, there were T-shirts available in Philadelphia. They are gone. The Philadelphia shirts are sold out. There were T-shirts available in New York. And I heard a lot of people who were coming in. They're like, dude, I would love a shirt, whatever. Well, we sold the shirts in New York. And there are some left. When I got home, there were like 11 shirts left. Now there are 4. Like the second I put them up on Facebook, I heard from 7 people, which was great. So all of the larges are gone. All we have left right now in a New York shirt, we have 4 extra larges left. If you guys want an extra large with the snake rape Pliskin on the front, go ahead and order the shirt. We would appreciate it. The way you do that is donate to me through the website, like I just explained how. Donate $25 or more, and then write me and tell me you did it for a shirt. And send me. Also, when you write me, make sure you give me your address so I can ship it. So it's $25 or more, and then tell me you want the shirt. The first 4 people who tell me that they want the shirt are going to get it. I will also post it on Facebook again just because, but I'm hoping people hear this. People who didn't get a chance, who don't follow me on Facebook, go ahead and send me a note, donate to the show, and tell me that you want the shirt, and I will ship them out this week. And if you've ordered the New York shirt, I haven't shipped them yet. I'll send them out later this week. That'll be fine. Now I'm going home. I've been here too long, talking too late. It's dark, fucking unbelievable. It's funny, when I was in New York, I was in the room on Friday. I told you I just hung out in there. And when I woke up, and I told you it was freezing cold in the room, and I just wanted to sleep. So I woke up at 2:30. And I got to get out of bed. So I stood up, and I walked over to the curtains. And I go to open the curtains, and when I got to the wall, the rug is soaked. It's crazy wet. The whole rug is freezing cold, too. I'm like, oh, fuck. And you're barefoot stomped in it. But I open the curtains. I see the building's awesome. So I start to formulate my day. I'm looking at the web. I'm doing what I'm going to do. And you're puttering around your hotel room, and I have nowhere to be until the show that night. So a couple hours goes by. It's about 4:30, I think. I was about to get ready. Or no, it was 4:30. Knock on the door. I figure it's housekeeping. So I go, I don't need any towels. And they go, security, sir. And it's fucking security. That's ridiculous. So I go to the door real quick, and I open it, and it's 2 women outside, and one of them's like a corporate chick. She's got her. I go, can I see your little lanyard? Because apparently I think I'm going to be the victim of a terrorist attack in fucking New York. Idiots. 2 women are going to fucking hit me over the head and kill me. Kill the infidel. But I'm like, I go, oh, hey. And I open the door, and they go, is everything okay in here? And I go, yeah, everything's fine. And they go, oh, well, we have a leak upstairs, and we're wondering if there's a leak in your room. And I go, there is. They go, really? You didn't call? And I go, no, come on in. So they come into my room. And because now, yeah, exactly. Now I'm sure that they're fine. All they had to say was there's a leak. They're official. They walk in the room, and I bring them over to the corner, and I go, yeah, I stepped in this today. It's all wet. And they profusely apologize. Like, sir, we're really sorry. And one of them is doing all the talking. The other one's just looking at me with this weird face. And I'm like, oh, it's okay. And she goes, no, we're really sorry. We'd really like to move you to another room if we could. I go, no. I go, absolutely not. I go, I'm leaving in the morning. I have to go right now to work, my business appointment. I go, I can't leave. It's fine. And they go, well, when are you leaving? And I go, I'm leaving here around 5:30. They go, that works perfectly. Then we'll have the cleanup crew come in while you're gone, and they'll clean up the rug. And I go, no, seriously, I don't want anybody in my room. I barely wanted you guys in my room, honestly. And they go, oh, okay, well, no problem. And I'm talking to the one woman, and the other woman just keeps looking at me strange. And I'm like, oh, it's whatever. I don't want anybody in my room. No problem, sir. I see you've got your computer in here. That's fine. I go, okay, great. And then I'm starting to wonder if they're like, the vanguard of a thievery ring who came to see if I had a fucking computer. I don't fucking know. So she goes, all right, well, it's not doing any harm. There's nothing dripping in here. It's a leak above you, and it's running through the wall, and it's also soaking your rug. And I go, well, all my stuff's away from the floor. We're fine. She said, good. So I turn around to walk them out, and they're very nice. The one woman was very nice. The other one was like, you fine, sir? I go, I'm fine. Thanks. Okay, bye. Close the door, and I'm like, that's fucking weird. I turn around, and I look in the full-length mirror, and I'm in my underwear. So I'm walking around, my cock bouncing around while I'm talking to these people. And I didn't even think about it. I heard security open the door, and I see the lanyard. I'm like, oh yeah, come on in. And they must have looked. So now, as scared as I was of them, they had to be doubly scared of me, because all of a sudden this guy in his underwear is like, yeah, ladies, come on in, check out the bed, it's undone. Yeah, I'm wearing a shirt, of course. I'm not that weird. But yeah, I'm wearing a shirt, but I have my boxer briefs on. And, but let's put it this way. And look, I look good in them. I'm not going to lie to you folks. I look fantastic in boxer briefs, but it was very much, look, they're aware of what I've got. So what I mean, but they walked in, they probably wondered why that was so, that's why the one woman was just dealing business. The other woman was just looking at me like, what the, seriously, dude? You want to put some pants on before you invite women into your goddamn room in New York? And I'm like, no, actually, no. I'm not going to, because in New York, that is the place to invite women into your room when you're not wearing any pants. Absolutely. If anywhere in America, if I can't be naked there, I can't be naked anywhere. Okay? And I'm sorry, it's up to you, New York, to care about what I'm wearing, because I don't give a fuck. I open the door, everybody's welcome. Come on in, hop in, bedspread off. I got a king bed, let's put it to use. Fantastic. You want to talk about security? I'm about to put the two of you on lockdown. Yeah. That's what it looked like. Because I'm just in my underwear, like, come on in. It's a good thing, like, I didn't have, 4chan or some fucking porn open on the computer. I am just stupid enough to think that when people listen to me and they listen to the show, they should take my honesty and go, oh, wow, how refreshing his unvarnished honesty is. And the fact that he's willing to have a scorched earth policy and have no friends or no fucking future is so refreshing and great. But then they'll say to me, hey, do you need somebody rigged for the steak? I go, yes, I do. Done. They'll take care of it for me. Thanks, Snake Rape. Oh, no one listens to show, bro? Wonder why? Wonder why no one listens to show, bro? I don't want to listen to show, bro. Please. Snake Rape, do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it!